throw up, throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up, throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up, throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up, throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know I'ma throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know I'ma throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know I'ma throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know that. Shut them haters up, you know we go so hard. Chopper hit up in they face, yeah, I'm a bulldog. Number one is what we holding, number one is what we stand. When you step out on that field, let them know you ain't playing. Step back in that pocket, launch it off like a rocket. Pass the pill, run the ball, either way they ain't gon' stop it. Bring that trophy back and let them know the CH got it locked up from the east to west, north to the south, and they can't top it. That defense they holding, that O-line be blocking. Check your Facebook, them bulldogs, they tryna top it. Them corners on they job, they receivers, they gon' lock it. And don't try and punt the ball because that D-line gon' block it. They know we coming hard, they know we coming strong. Let them haters do they talking, Chopper here deserves the throne. Yeah, we sit at number one, they know we can't be cloned. Now it's time to handle business, gonna bring that title home. Work, throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up, throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up, throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up, throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up, throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know I'ma throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know I'ma throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know I'ma throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know that. This shit is our year, so we gon' shut it down and handle that and let them haters know another L. Say we not hearing that. Blue and gold, I be wearing that. Them other teams, we not fearing that. That competition ain't nothing. Bulldog country boy, we gon' bring it back. This shit is our year, so we gon' shut it down and handle that and let them haters know another L. Say we not hearing that. Blue and gold, I be wearing that. Them other teams, we not fearing that. That competition ain't nothing. Bulldog country boy, we gon' bring it back. Throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up. Throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up. Throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up. Throw that blue and gold up. Make them haters throw up. Throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know I'ma throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know I'ma throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know I'ma throw that blue and gold up. CH in they face, let them know that I'm bulldog. CH in they face, let them know I'm a bulldog. CH in they face, let them know I'm a bulldog. CH in they face, let them know I'm a bulldog. CH in they face, let them know I'm a bulldog. Bulldog.
Field, man, they do it big. Other teams talk big, but that's nothing. Chapel Hill state champs, I see they coming. In my town, when they see it, they gon' hate this. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow. They hit the field and shut it down so crazy. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow. Pass the rock, run the ball. CH in they face, let them know I'm a bulldog. Them lines look like kittens, I'm thinking who are y'all? Beat them so bad that they thinking there's 22 of y'all. Leaving their minds blown, about to bring the crown home. Other teams wishing that they could beat them, but they can't clone. They trying to act like they don't know. You see that blue and gold, 55, 45, 35, man, that boy's gone. Reppin' this sexually reckless down here in CH, Texas, state champion 2010. I claim that thing already. Now you can say we ain't the dookie, but I know you smell it. Go ahead and bring that thing home, make them kittens feel it. You know what it is. Every time they hit the field, man, they do it big. Other teams talk big, but that's nothing. Chapel Hill state champs, I see it coming. In my town, when they see it, they gon' hate this. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow. They hit the field and shut it down so crazy. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow. As far as I'm concerned, it ain't no competition. So shut them out and bring that title home that we've been missing. Been 21 years since we had this type of victory. Shouts to class of 89, it's time to make history. What's up, Chapel Hill? We got them haters watching, but we done came too far, so man, it ain't no stopping. No loss, straight victory's the only option. Man, it feels good to be the Bulldog. What's poppin'? You know what it is. Every time they hit the field, man, they do it big. Other teams talk big, but that's nothing. Chapel Hill state champs, I see it coming. In my town, when they see it, they gon' hate this. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow. They hit the field and shut it down so crazy. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow. You know what it is. Every time they hit the field, man, they do it big. Other teams talk big, but that's nothing. Chapel Hill state champs, I see it coming. In my town, when they see it, they gon' hate this. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow. They hit the field and shut it down so crazy. Blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow, blue and yellow.
Hey Bulldog Sports Network fans, it's your founder, Brett Swinney, coming to you via recorded video tonight. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make the show tonight, so Corey, Vince, and Jared Jones will be doing the show duties this evening. Unfortunately, I was not feeling very well yesterday evening. I went to the ER and I have COVID, so I'm going to be down for a little bit, but I want to thank you for all your support and hope you enjoy tonight's show. Go Bulldogs.
Mic check. We're all good. Good to go. All right, had a couple of technical difficulties there, but everything seems good to go. Obviously, by myself, Brett, prayers to you, brother. Speedy recovery as quickly as possible as we go toward this holiday season. Welcome to another rendition of Uncle Mo's favorite show, the weekly wrap-up show, State Championship Edition. I'm your host, Jared Jones, filling in for Brett. Obviously by myself, waiting for Corey and Vincent. I assume that they'll be here as quickly as possible, but we're going to get into a little bit of NFL talk, some Chapel Hill talk on the basketball end, as district play started earlier this week, along with some tournament play coming up as they travel to Dallas this holiday weekend. Well, not this holiday weekend. And there we go. We are not alone. Got a little bit of audio trouble there earlier on. Would have started a bit earlier, but everything seems to be all right. Hopefully get things going here. Corey, I can't hear you. I think you can hear me. I just can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, good to go.
All right. I was like, wait a minute, it's not Brett. No, I was just playing.
I think we're all good, though. Everything seems to be working just fine now. And you can't talk about me. Have a camera now. Have a webcam. So,
right?
No more rookie mistakes.
No, I can't. Like, my stuff is all messed up. Like, my camera is like, it's on laptop. I'm, whatever.
Right.
What can I say? I'm gonna ask Santa for a different webcam. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask Santa for a webcam. Maybe he'll.
One too. Santa's been kind of, I don't know. He hasn't been treating me well as usual. This past few years, I guess you could say. I guess I'm getting old.
Once you start paying bills, Santa is like, "Who are you?" That's what Santa says. It's like, "Why?" Like, dear Santa, oh, it's you again. No,
like, oh, okay, back again. I see.
Right,
how's that electric bill coming?
That's how it goes.
Here again, weekly wrap-up show, State Championship Edition, brought to you by Zonos Insurance, and of course, Uncle Mo himself. We know you're watching wherever you may be. Shout out to Uncle Mo.
Absolutely.
Gonna get into a little bit of state championship talk, go over the predictions you guys made last week, talk about some Chapel Hill basketball. Of course, I mentioned earlier, open district play, kind of a weird scheduling this year. Open district play against Cumberland. We're going to dip a little bit into that, dabble into some basketball, and also preview their upcoming tournament, the Whataburger Invitational Tournament, one of the biggest holiday tournaments in the state. Great bracket. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on, but can't wait to get into everything. Sound good?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm always down for that.
I'm going to let you kind of take over this high school football segment. I know you guys did predictions last week, so kind of break everything down. Now, I kind of watched a little bit of almost every game in every conference, but I know you guys made predictions, probably have a little bit more in-depth, so I'm going to turn it over to you, and let's see what you got.
Well, pretty much Brett won that one. Let's see. We had I think Stafford actually won that one. We all kind of picked Stafford. Franklin actually won that state championship. Shout out to Vince. He actually got that one. I did pick Lorena. Brock lost. Lorena did beat Brock. So shout out to me. They picked China Spring over Gilmer because I'm an East Texas guy. So Gilmer was supposed to win, but China Spring won. And then on top of that, the China Spring head football coach, he actually accepted a OC position at Baylor. That's surprising.
A lot of movement in the Big 12 coaching wise this year already.
Yeah, that's a big one right there. That was a shocking move. Of course, we all picked LBJ, and LBJ did not win. That was Stevensville was tough. Honestly, Stevensville was. I was going for LBJ. Obviously, they beat us. I wanted to go there for LBJ, but we all lost that one. South Oak Cliff. Obviously, we went them. So South Oak Cliff, shout out to them and all the DF Dub, all that. College Station got beat by Katy Pato, and that was a shocker. That was the first ever state championship for that team in school history, and I think that's a new school, if I'm not mistaken. So
Katy Pato's it's not a historic school. It is pretty new, I think.
No, Katy in front of it, people think, oh, it's Katy. It's a brand new school, so
it's still Katy.
Yeah, it's still Katy. It ain't the Katy, but it's still Katy. Yeah,
close enough.
Right.
Walmart Katy. Well, apparently Walmart's good enough in this situation.
Exactly. And then, of course, Austin Westlake beat Denton Guyer. Austin Westlake. Right. Ty Dodge, he's got, 7 now? 7 state championships?
He's starting to look like Jordan, but high school football coaching. Westlake I think they're just too good.
And he retired.
I think anybody's just straight up better than them.
They ended up number 2 in the nation behind Mater Dei. So they ended up being number 2, and they should, man. That team was pretty good. That team was very good. And of course, I went ahead and I picked Duncanville, but Galena North Shore ended up winning. I wanted Duncanville to win the state championship. I thought they were that good. They just did not perform very well that game. They had a lot of drops, and they could have won the game, but Galena North Shore, I think that's what, 4 state titles for them. And
I think that's their fourth.
Yeah. So I thought they were going to win that game. I really thought Duncanville was going to win that game. I wish they would, especially in the DFW area. But man, South Oak Cliff came out on top. But Galena North, I think that was a breaker right there. Brett had them. I didn't pick them, but everybody else picked Duncanville. But it's all right.
One thing I wanted to point out here, kind of a different turn here. We're going to go to 1A 6-man Division II. Strawn and Motley County, 73-28. The game ended early. The referees call up the game in the third quarter. Now, I've seen a lot of things happen. We've seen classic state championship moments. Of course, Chapel Hill winning in 2011. Of course, John Tyler with their miraculous state championship win. Historic moment, by the way. But I feel like Strawn and Motley County, this has to be a game for the ages. A state championship thrown out in the third quarter it's crazy. I honestly wish I could have watched that one.
You know what's funny? I don't know. You're pretty young. I don't think you were born in 1990 in the 90s.
Nah, I don't think I was.
I remember watching that game. That's funny. I remember watching that game. It was on Channel 7. I'll never forget watching that game. And I remember watching it. It was it was a tube TV. It was like one of those panel TVs. And it was old school TV. Anyway, I remember watching the game. And I'm thinking, oh man, John Tyler's about to lose. And then boom, blink for an eye, kickoff return, game over. I'm like, why do you? Everybody in Tyler that was old Allen Wilson football team, and that's the Cujo spirit. They haven't been back. They haven't been the same team. They've been good traditionally, but they haven't been the same since that state title run. But and Plano hadn't been the same either. Like that, the Plano schools haven't been. I don't think they've been.
haven't heard from the Plano schools in a while. Yeah. And you've heard most of them mostly just in baseball, honestly.
Baseball, basketball, they're pretty good in basketball too. I will give them that. They're pretty good in basketball, but they haven't been as good in football in years. So, but that Plano East team was really good. That was crazy.
Heartbreaker in 2A Division I. If you've watched the pregame shows, you notice I've always shout out Timpson. Pretty much every week I got to give my Bears a little bit of credit, but eventually fell to the state champion Shiner again, 47-12. One thing I always thought was funny, I said that back in the pregame show before the LBJ game. Timpson fell to Shiner pretty much a calendar year after they lost to the exact same team. I want to say the exact same stadium too. Everything just came full circle. Shiner once again state champions. That's a beast down there in 2A Division I. Really just 2A in general. A lot of small schools dominated.
But Timpson has a very good program, and I'm surprised Wascom didn't make it that far either. I thought Wascom was really going to, because they were ranked number 1 in Class 2A for a long time.
They were number 1 for almost I want to say 7-8 weeks.
Yeah,
they were a very great team for a while.
And out of them, Timpson and then West Rusk was really good too. I'm surprised they didn't make it that far. So that was a surprise on that end. They're really good.
Now, shifting to Chapel Hill basketball now, of course, their last game, beating Cumberland. If you watch that game, there's a lot of things that you could take away. Of course, Chapel Hill, very consistent team, very athletic team, as we all know. Playing against a 1-10, now 1-11 Cumberland team, not a lot of experience on that team. A lot of guys lost last year. Of course, Ethan Cartwright, the guard that graduated last year. Not returning a lot of people, a lot of young guys. There's Vincent. There we go. Vincent, welcome.
That's my Uncle Mo's favorite. There goes Uncle Mo's
favorite. What's up, fellas?
What's
going on?
Not much, man.
Talking about Bulldog basketball here, about the recent game against Cumberland, what we kind of noticed. Now, watching that game, I watched it back before we went live here, just kind of get a refresher because, of course, watch everything back. Don't have the best memory in the world, so I had to watch it back. But Cumberland stayed in that game for the most part 3 quarters. It was a tale of pretty much 3 quarters and then the fourth. Chapel Hill kind of took off, got that double-digit lead, their initial double-digit lead with about, I want to say, a minute left to go in the third quarter, and then didn't look back from there. But if you watch that Cumberland team, they hung with Chapel Hill for a while. So do you guys think that that'd be a kind of a bit of a red flag there, something that Coach Johnson and the rest of that Bulldog coaching staff kind of look over, or that's maybe just a fluke game?
I never want to say it's a fluke game. So I'm a big component of, sloppy play. So,
Right.
it's kind of, I'm gonna use the Golden State Warriors for an example. Golden State Warriors, for a good 5-year run, Golden State was the best team in the NBA, hands down. And
Easily.
they were beatable, but the way that they were beatable, if they missed shots and they started playing sloppy, you could beat them. And you can't outplay sloppy play. Like, if you play sloppy, you can get beat any day where you turn the ball over, you take bad shots, you're not mentally focused, you can be beaten by anybody. So, and they righted the ship, and they ended up winning the game. But it's hard to overcome a sloppy game, and you don't want to start out in district play with a sloppy game. And of course, that's how it goes. But like I said, especially if you're a better team, you know what I mean. If you're a better team, it's gonna happen. This is what their 5th game with the full roster. So I mean, it's
About their
gonna,
4th or 5th game so far with the entire team.
yeah, it's gonna happen. So I mean, hey, you got to right the ship. It's one of those games you glad you played it early. It's like, hey, we'll get that out of our system. We got to slap the game out of our system. Let's go. Let's get a win and get out of here. That's how you got to do it.
Vincent, your thoughts on this game?
I mean, Corey kind of said it all. It's you just now had a full roster, so I mean, I'm not gonna be too hard on the squad because they just not learning to play together. They just not got their full roster together. So, just watching the game, yeah, there's some moments that need to be cleaned up and everything, but again, it's the chemistry needs to be there. So. That's just gonna take some time, This is gonna take some time, bro. And so I'm not gonna be so judgmental, so hard on them yet. Give it about another month, and then we'll really see where they at. We'll be more critical then. So I'll say it like that. I'm expected to be at the January 11th game, per Corey, what he said. So
January 11th. That's probably one of the biggest circles on almost anyone's calendar.
I'll probably be more critical then. I can be leading up until the end. So
we're gonna hype that game up.
Yeah, I already kind of let the fam know, like, listen, on the 11th, I'm gonna be out of pocket. But I'm probably gonna be out of pocket. I'm still trying to talk my way out of it, but it seems like 2 of the 3 votes said I'm gonna be there.
You got to make an appearance. That game
is obligated to at this point. You stuck. You got to show up now.
That game has almost never happened. So we got to make an appearance.
True. That is true. I didn't think about it like that. That game has almost never happened. So yeah, I gotta be there for that. So.
Now,
go ahead.
This upcoming week, this Monday, they begin play. Oh, speaking of Whataburger, the Whataburger Invitational Tournament, they will be playing at Chisholm Trail High School. Perfect segue there at Chisholm Trail High School. Now, looking at the bracket, a lot of teams that are ranked in their respective conferences. Looking through, you see Brock, fantastic at football and basketball. Last time I checked, they're in the top 15. Diboll played Brock earlier this year in a battle of top 10 ranked teams at the time. Diboll, I believe, is still ranked. Argyle is always consistent. Tatum, a team that beat Chapel Hill in their respective tournament earlier last week, 74-62, a chance to maybe avenge that loss.
Argyle is good at basketball too?
Excuse me? What did you say?
Argyle good at basketball too?
Oh, yeah.
Argyle is solid in pretty much every sport.
Yeah, they cheat the system. They don't cheat the system. They're really good.
Let's keep it a stack. I'm pretty sure they cheat the system. There's no way they're top 10 ranked in every single sport.
Listen, they won state in basketball and football one year. Same year. Like this.
I think they won it in baseball a certain year too. I heard someone say that Argyle's a baseball school. There's no way.
They did it all 3. They're good in all facets of the game. I'm like, this guy.
They got the triple crown. Did they get the triple crown?
Like how? You can't be like, you're really good. And it was what?
I'm really starting to develop a passion for hating this school.
Chapel
Man, you
Hill's
can't
first
be
game
good
to
at
open up
everything,
early
man.
game, very
Yeah.
early game, 10 a.m. against Seminole.
Yeah.
Haven't seen much of Seminole. They seem to be just a normal run-of-the-mill team as to what I've heard or seen. Now, do we want to make predictions now, or want to kind of wait a little bit?
We could wait a little bit.
Yeah,
But Seminole traditionally was good. Shout out to you may not know, Chris Ogden is the assistant basketball coach at University of Texas. It's one of the only Seminole players. I remember watching him play in high school in a state championship game years and years ago, but he is from Seminole. So yeah, that's one of the alumni of Seminole I remember. So but he's pretty Seminole tradition is pretty good. They have a good football basketball team. If you're in the Whataburger tournament, you have some credentials to be there.
Right.
So traditionally they're pretty good.
Seminole currently 5-10. Looking at their games, they haven't really played anybody that's a good, I guess you could say, marker to see how they match up against Chapel Hill. But 5-10, haven't played in district yet. They are in, looking up Max Preps here, kind of going a bit. So they're in 4A Region 1 Division 2. So a fellow 4A team, they're not playing up. They have Fort Stockton, Mohans, solid teams, average teams. But, of course, at the top, there's Andrews and Greenwood. So I feel like Chapel Hill, personally, kind of want to get mine out of the way. I feel like Chapel Hill can run the table on these cats. Now, it's the next game that worries me because right below them is Argyle and Diboll. That's going to be a fantastic matchup. Diboll going to get the latest rankings here in a second from Hoop Insider. Just came out, I want to say yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
But Diboll, of course, ranked. Argyle, not currently ranked, but I'm pretty sure by midway through the season, they'll be in the mix as usual. So that game's going to be definitely a game to watch. Diboll, number 12 in 3A, recently defeated number 25 in 2A Hudson 55-51. So they're beating ranked opponents pretty handedly, beating who they're supposed to be, beating ranked teams. So that should be a fantastic game. A lot of great games in this bracket.
The thing that you going into tournament time, and like Vince alluded to earlier, there's not a lot of chemistry there. I don't say it's not a lot of chemistry there, but it's a bonding time. You guys didn't have a tournament season last year, and you kind of miss the tournament time because number one, you get to be competitive quickly because you don't have a lot of time to we messed up that game. No, we got another game right back to back, and now you have to strategize, go right back and play the next team. Maybe you have to watch and recruit, but watch and scout, and then go right back and play the next game. You get to see exactly what your team is made of in certain instances. It's not like district play where you play one game and then 2 days later you play another game. No, it's the next day. Next day you got to bounce back and then play. So it's interesting to see how they respond and respond quickly. That's why I love tournament time. And then of course, Coach Johnson is probably sharing up some of his how can I, what lineups work here, what lineups work there.
Like going as far as we did in the playoffs in football, it has its perks and then it has its advantages when you talk about a situation like this when it comes to basketball. Because you got so many that work there. And you got to kind of figure this out real quick, real fast. So but I have no doubt in my mind that we'll be able to do it. And those guys, man, they some true athletes, number one. So it ain't gonna be because of physical play. If we lose any game, it won't be because we can't play physical. We can't hoop with nobody. I mean, we can hoop with anybody out there, pretty much. I think it's just gonna be chemistry is gonna be the thing that's gonna kind of take some time for us, and you might have a team or two get the best of us because we ain't there yet, and they've been together already, and that's okay as long as it don't happen late in the season, So you want to have a tight ship by mid to late season. So
you want to learn how to win. This is the time where you learn how to win games.
Yeah.
Like when you're down by 10. Okay, now, hey, we got to fight back and win this game. We've been here before. We know how to win games back to back to back. We know what the tournament like. Know what the tournament season's like. You get a chance to know who's going, who you're in the trenches with. So then on top of that, hey, you don't want to get out basketball. And I say that loosely because, hey, it's out now. Now the pressure's gonna be on coach. Hey, let's see what we can do in this tournament. Let's draw up this play. Let's see if this works. Let's see if little wrinkles would work here. Let's change this lineup a little bit and see how we let's try some things. It's okay. You get to that point where you want to try a little thing too. And hey, maybe this lineup doesn't work here. Maybe maybe they want to go. Maybe we want to see a different zone. Maybe they'll play a matchup zone. Maybe you kind of want to see a different. Every tournament has its plus and minuses. You play the Tatum tournament is going to be very competitive. We understand that Tatum is always pretty good. I don't care if football, basketball for sure. They made it to the state tournament last year. So I'm pretty sure losing to them was okay. Now we take that on the chin. But hey, guess what? We have an opportunity to play Tatum again. Hey, we can play him again. Hey, if you want to beat him again or play him somewhere in a neutral gym, that's an opportunity to play him again. So it's a lot of good things, a lot of good positives to play in here. And we haven't played in this tournament in a long time. So it's just a good opportunity to go down there and play some different competition, different style of play. It's always good to play a different style because you never know who you'll face in the playoffs later on in the season, because basketball is a little bit different than football in regarding style. A lot of teams like to, they may press, they may play a half-court zone, they may half-court trap, they may do a whole bunch of different things and different looks. So that would prepare you later on for the actual season for district play. So this is going to be a good test for.
As a former player, I always loved tournament time because, number one, going back to what Corey and Vincent touched on earlier, it's chemistry. It's all about chemistry. For an entire weekend or sometimes even 3 whole days, you're in the same hotel together, you're sharing rooms, you're having that bonding time together, that brotherhood creating moment, those little moments that you carry on for the rest of the season. And on the court, not only do you have the ability to take that chemistry that you build off of it, but on the court, you get to play teams that you might not ever see. You get a chance to play a ranked team in Diboll or a ranked team in Brock. Yeah, they're 3, but at the same time, they're still one of the best in the state regardless. They play the same sports you do. So you get to either play ranked teams that, yeah, they may be in the lower class, but it's still competition, or even play up. You see San Antonio Cole, Midlothian Heritage, Argyle, teams you may not never see, maybe because they're in a whole different conference, or maybe you might see them in a late playoff run, but teams that are better than you and even bigger than you in size, that, yeah, you get to test out your guys. You get to test out different lineups, different sets, see what works, see what doesn't. So as the year progresses on, you can look back at these tournaments and say, hey, this worked against this team. Henderson kind of plays like they do, or Spring Hill plays like they do. Let's implement this to beat these cats by 50 or beat them by 40, so on. So I feel like tournament time is very important. It's arguably the most important time of the year because it sets the tone. Right now, of course, you already had your district game. You got that out of the way. You're 1-0 in the district. But in normal seasons, you have that tournament season before district. So, of course, you have that time to build. You have that time to develop your players. And especially for teams like Chapalilla who had a really deep football playoff run. So your whole roster isn't there. So tournaments are kind of like your last-ditch effort to bring your guys together and prepare for a rough district season.
Yeah, and it's a great recruiting tool too. A lot of coaches are out of holiday tournaments, and they'll be there recruiting, and so they can actually watch the game and watch guys play in different venues and neutral sites, neutral talents, and kind of go from there. There are always regional scouts looking, and Whataburger tournament has its own perks. So I mean, if you're an all tournament player there, obviously it's going to put a star beside your name. So I mean, it's always a good look, and it's always good to play. Like I said, always good to play different talent and state ranked talent. And like you said before, you playing a state ranked team. I'm competitive. Okay, this is what it is. I like the fact that we can play a state ranked team. Cool. Like, well, we're not ranked. Cool. Let's just see how good they really are. A lot of state ranked teams early on in the year. We do what we do. They'll take it lightly. I don't know this team. We'll take it lightly. It's okay. They can get beat by 22. We've done it before in the past. That's okay. That's why I like basketball. It doesn't matter. The ball will roll. We can play defense. We can trap. I don't care what you do. I've seen it happen before. It doesn't matter. You're good. That's perfectly fine. It's okay. You're ranked number 1. Oh, it's cool. We'll take you down 2. It's okay. It's a nice little build your confidence. And man, listen. Brett can attest to this. Was it my junior year? We were what 3-3? And we went to a Lindale Hoop Heaven tournament, which, by the way, which was one of the premier tournaments in East Texas. I don't have it; it's not the same. But man, we played a Shreveport Airline team, great team. Kid was 6'8", and he was going to Louisiana Tech. The first game we played was the Shreveport Woodlawn, and I don't know if you know anything about Shreveport Woodlawn. I think they just came off a state championship that year. We beat them by like 25. Okay, then the next game we played, we had Shreveport Airline, beat them by like 20. Like Ken shout out to Ken, he probably had dropped 25 points both games. Chris Lynch, shout out to Chris Lynch. He had a couple of dunks. I mean, we were dominating. Like they were dominating. It wasn't even funny. It was so funny in the locker room behind us. We were playing at Lindale Middle School. Now I can remember this like it was yesterday. The whole entire team got cussed out. Coach Johnson was like, "Hey, shh, shh, shh," and the other team was getting cussed out. And Coach Johnson didn't say anything. He's like, "Keep doing what you're doing." That's nothing more you had to say. It was embarrassing, but that team eventually ended up playing hard enough and good enough. And when I say they went on a run, they won 29 games that year. They went on a run, and it was just like that. And they caught fire. And they played 2 state-ranked teams out of Louisiana that year, ended up beating them by 20-something points, and then just went on a run. So it can happen. And when I say that team was legit, camaraderie, they came together like none other, and man, they made a run. Everything was clicking. I mean, everything was clicking. So I've seen it happen. So this is a good opportunity for those guys to come in, play their best basketball, gel together, and go make a run.
Now, keeping on the topic of holiday tournaments, of course, we had to address the elephant in the room, the Wagstaff Holiday Classic, not a tournament anymore. I still don't know. After all these years, I still have no idea why it's not a tournament anymore and why people are just playing games now. I feel like that just takes away from, I guess you could say, the fun and the excitement that the Wagstaff used to have. Even when I was younger, they used to be a tournament, but now it's a classic. A couple of games I'll be streaming actually over on the Antler Sports Network. Be sure to go to antlersn.com to see what games we'll be streaming. But a couple of marquee matchups. Now, I don't know how familiar you guys are with homeschool teams, but the Tyler Heat, I feel like they are a team that could beat pretty much anyone they have scheduled. They have TACA, who, shout out to Coach Ani Umana, he's out of the DFW, out of the Metroplex, runs a very tight ship. TACA is one of the best homeschool teams in the nation. Last year, their JV and their varsity team won the national tournament out of, I forgot what state it was in last season, but a very great team there. Yeah. Tyler Heat also plays All Saints. All Saints, of course, always solid. They had a couple years back. I think they had like a guard a couple years back. I forgot his name. Very great team, well-coached team. I know Coach Tatum assistant over there. Shout out to you. And their final game was against White House. White House is a team I've watched them play. They played Brook Hill. They're number 7 in taps right now. Beat them by double digits. So White House isn't a team to be played with either. 3 very competitive games that will be streamed that you can watch for free over on the Antler Sports Network. Very great games. Also, some other games I think that will be very great. Houston Legacy, they're coming down. Very great team. Plays a national schedule, by the way, which is crazy to me how you play a national schedule and you decide to come to Tyler, Texas to play. But hey, the more the merrier, right?
It's a good recruiting tool.
Very great recruiting tool. Beat a team that plays a national schedule out of Houston. Fantastic recruiting tool. Jacksonville plays them on Monday, the 27th at 5:30. Primetime game. Jacksonville, a very great team. Great head coach, Coach Alexander. Consistent coach. Great teams almost every season. Looking down the list here, these schedules have changed at least twice this week. So the fact that it stayed the way it was for 2 days is miraculous to me. Tyler High and Tyler Legacy, the last game of the tournament, that Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Rivalry game. Big game there. I got to be there to see that. And also Jacksonville and Longview, the game before that at 6:45. Lots of games in that Wagstaff tournament. I don't know if you guys have looked at the schedule, but is there any games that you think there are any teams that you need to look out for?
I'd like to watch Jacksonville play.
I'm going to watch that Tyler and Tyler Legacy play. I'm going to watch that for sure.
Shout out to Coach Johnson. Another Ollie Johnson. Shout out to Jay Johnson. Shout out to Coach Jay Johnson, doing this thing, alma mater. Yeah. Love it, love it, love it.
I'm trying to stream that game. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to see if I can find some connections there. But Brett in the chat, We're looking at chat. Don't worry. Talking about Bullard. Bullard, another great team. Dark horse. Coach Knuckles coming over from LaPointer last season. LaPointer, a state tournament team, I think the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Lost to, had a very great forward a couple years back. He graduated, and nonetheless, his son, I want to say his name is Garrett Knuckles. Fantastic forward, great young guys. Going to give Chapel Hill a run for their money in their district, but I think we're up for the challenge. Bullard, a very great team. They open up against, looking through the schedule here, they play Tyler Legacy. So Bullard, a chance to prove their might against a 6A opponent.
They'll beat
Definitely
them.
one of the best teams in the area. 8 o'clock p.m., the second session on Monday, December the 27th. Try to keep you updated on that game as well. Bullard will also be playing Jacksonville. Corey, you want to watch Jacksonville play? Great game there on Tuesday at 6:45. And Bullard, in their last game, that's it. Actually, they only played 2 games. So 2 games for Bullard, 2 opportunities to watch a very solid team. Chapel Hill has a great chance to watch a district opponent, very great district opponent at that.
I'm pretty sure they'll be watching that game.
Vincent, anybody you want to look out for during this Wagstaff? Can't even say tournament anymore. The Wagstaff Holiday Classic, as they call it now.
It's not as fun as it used to be, man. It's not as fun as it used to be.
It really.
I'll be honest with you, because I haven't gone. See, last time I went was 3-4 years ago.
That's more
It's just,
recent.
I don't know. I don't look forward to him like that no more. Like it just ain't got that stigma it used to have to me, man. Like that was like the thing to do. Like if you were in Tyler,
Right.
After
you know what I'm saying?
Christmas,
The tournament's today.
Straight to the
I remember
wax.
the last
Straight
time I
to the
went,
wax.
I didn't even remember when the tournament was. But somebody hit me up and was like, "Man, what you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing. I'm finna go to work probably
What?
in a little bit." Hey man, they hooping today. I'm like, hold on, let me make this phone call real quick. Bob ain't gonna make it. Yeah, I ain't feeling good. You know. And so, you know, I mean, it just don't have that energy that it used to have. So I mean, I can't say that I'm really looking forward to any of it like it is, but I love basketball, so of course I'm gonna make an appearance and I'm gonna watch, but it just don't have that feeling it used to have. Man. I can't. If you miss that, you know, that time period, like I don't know how to explain it. It just
That was even the way it was in my lifetime, even when I was younger.
You know, like it's just that it was like it didn't matter what sport it didn't matter if you even played a sport. Like you just went. When I was at TJC and I was, you know, I remember they playing over there and I'm like, man, what's going on over there? It's packed, parking lot packed. Oh, I'm gonna step over there real quick.
Yeah.
You know, like and you hang out all day.
The old Wagstaff, when TJC had the mustard court, when was the mustard outline court and the old wooden
Good
bleachers. Listen, there was nothing like that tournament time. It was just strictly East Texas schools. And Brett did. Troop used to dominate. They did.
Sure did.
And
I just remember
Troop
it being
used to dominate.
so.
It was different. You had Whitehouse, Lindale, Canton, you know,
Brownsboro.
I go back a few years ago, and man, honestly, I think the last time I went actually with my father-in-law, he was coaching at Athens, and so they were in the tournament, and it was just so live being over there, man. Like it you know, like it's so serious. It's so I can't put it no other way. I remember a situation where a kid, dude kind of got a rebound and he was about to go on fast break. I ain't calling no names here, but the kid on one of the teams tripped this kid, right? And it was for the squad that my father-in-law was playing for. So I always say a whole lot of this and that, but my mother-in-law hopped up and she was like, "You sorry?" She said, "Yeah, I'm talking to you. You sorry?" And I was just like, man, look how passionate this is, bro. If everybody's booing and everything, it's just crazy, but it ain't like that no more. It ain't like that no more.
Brett said something. Said, "Well, small schools beat big schools, change the tournament." That is very
Change the
true.
what?
That is very
100%.
true. I remember. Of course, I'm dating back. I remember it. We played. We had just won the year previous, and John Tyler's JV was our first game. And I remember Coach Johnson was not happy. So, oh, you gonna play? We got to play a JV team? Cool. And he didn't have to say much. Our team was already good, and he didn't have to say much. It was like, they don't give him an opportunity. Don't even give him an opportunity. We beat them like 71-28, and it was just I'm talking. They were throwing alleys. We were dunking. It was a great game. It was like, listen, don't even give them an opportunity. Don't even let them think that they belong here at this point. Like, that's disrespectful. You gonna send a JV team here? If you can't come, you just can't come to the tournament.
Got to.
And it's like, and it was one of those tournaments. Like, okay, it was one of those games. Like, okay, like, yeah, that's disrespectful. You gonna play us? Cool. We'll play. We'll play. And it was bad. It was bad. It was one of those games. Like, it was like a warm up game, but it was disrespectful. It really was. I remember that one like it was yesterday. Like, wow, we gonna play. We're playing John Tyler. No, it was John Tyler's JV. Okay, no disrespect. Okay.
Even like as a student, former student now at TJC, no one talks about the WAC staff anymore. I was asking like teachers, professors, even some guys I knew that were they weren't on the team or like on a team, but they were close to the athletic department, and they didn't even know about the WAC. They were like, "Oh, they're having that this year." That kind of hurts the soul. Yeah, exactly. That hurts the soul, man. Because even when I was younger, the WAC staff was the thing to do.
It was the thing.
If you like East Texas sports, not even just basketball, you were at the WAG right as the session opened up. And just because it was the end of a session, you didn't leave. You stood outside and talked mess to your buddies or whatever the heck. It was like a cultural thing around here. And now it's like it's all gone. After what Brett said in the chat, small schools being big schools, yeah. You would have an All Saints beat like maybe even like a John Tyler, or a team from Dallas would come through, like a Forney would come through and get waxed by 30 by ARP. And all of a sudden it just started changing. Teams didn't want to play ball anymore. And the next thing you know, we're at the point where we have the same little East Texas teams and maybe one big team coming through and waxing everybody.
What happened to the competitive nature, man? Like, you should want to hoop. You should want
I don't hoop against them. They gonna beat us like
it don't make no sense to me, man, that you just I'd rather not. I don't want my team to take a unexpected L to a smaller school. Man, forget all of that, man. I came here to ball.
Exactly.
Brett said, "Man up in the chat." 100% agree.
Give me somebody out of them stands. I'll wear them out too. Like, that's what you're here for.
To rival that tournament, I will say the Burger King Classic was probably very close to that one, the old Burger King Classic. Now that tournament, it wasn't a tournament. It was a very, very competitive classic, but it pitted some like Dallas Skyline used to always come in and make a presence. DeSoto came in and make a presence. Garland was down here. Duncanville came down there. I do believe Duncanville. I don't think Duncanville ever came down. They may have, if I'm not mistaken. They could have long. It was years ago, but it was John Tyler, Robert E. Lee, White House played, and Chapel Hill played for sure. And we had games there, and it was at the old Robert E. Lee Gymnasium. I remember it was John Tyler. They had a hella squad that one year. Jamil Everhart was playing. Then of course they played Dallas Skyline that day. They had I can't think of the kid's name. He went to the pros that year too. DeSoto had they had like some dominant guards. Both of them had 2 D1 guards. It was crazy. And you could see the old Lee gym. I remember watching the game because I went. I'm like, listen, I'm going back to this. Like I'm going back to Chapel Hill, and I'm driving right back, and I'm watching this game. I'm in the nosebleeds watching the game. When I say it felt like all of Tyler was there, it was cheek to cheek watching John Tyler and Dallas Skyline play. That was a bad game. And then DeSoto, I want to say they played DeSoto too. I know we played DeSoto. We got beat pretty handedly. But that's a game you take on the chin. Yeah. You take that game on the chin. That was the DeSoto was rough. That was a good team.
Yeah.
Talking about all these good teams, maybe go back to the rankings, and this shocked me. I remember my initial reaction looking on Twitter. Oak Cliff Faith Family has lost their second game of the year in a blowout. They lost to Liberty 79-62.
Mm.
When I saw that, I had to the guy over Hoop Insider, the 1A through 4A guy, Britt Ert, shout out to him. Very great guy, voted on the CABC voting committee. I had to call him and say, hey, is everything all right? You had to give him a text like, everything cool? Like, wait a minute. What? Faith Family lost a game? He's like, yeah, they lost. Look back, I still can't believe that Oak Cliff lost this early on in the year. Now, I don't know what this means. Playing against Faith Family years ago, I know they're still a great team. They probably don't have as dynamic of a team as they had because they had, of course, Jordan Walsh, who's a fantastic D1 athlete. Hated guarding him. Hardest game of my life, most likely. But seeing Faith Family lose kind of gives me some hope, you know? Like, wait a minute. Like, wait a minute.
You can be
Olympic falling this early on? Like,
Yeah.
okay. I like this.
They can be beaten. Any team can be beaten. You know,
Anybody can do that, man.
I don't care if they rank number one in the country. You know, look what happened to Duncanville took on a team out of Florida. They beat that team, beat both of them, won that tournament. As a matter of fact, they're the number one team in the country. So those teams can be beaten. You know, they got high Division I players. That doesn't mean anything. You can't play together, and they may have an off night. Everything works as far as the game playing goes. It's just one game, and you match up. But some teams can't match up very well against your team. You know, they may not. That those things happen. I told my cousin this years and years ago, and he said, "Well, would you rather have an easy schedule and make it to the playoffs, or would you ever have a hard schedule?" I told him, I said, I'd rather win a state championship 17-15 than lose in the first round, and that'd be my only loss of the season.
Mm.
He said, why would you? I said, I want to play competition. I said, I want to play teams that are going to challenge us. Because if I know my district is, I want to see the measure of my team. Now, of course, a lot of people say, oh, you want to ruin kids' confidence. I told them, you can't coach fear. If you're afraid to play, I can't play you.
Right.
If you're afraid of the other team,
don't suit up.
Don't suit up. I remember
passing water or something.
I remember watching, and of course I'm dating back to this. I remember watching, and as we'd warm up, it was White Oak going back. White Oak tournament. White Oak's really good basketball, by the way. It was White Oak tournament, and we were playing White Oak for the championship game. And all the guys on our team, they were just dunking. They were just doing the regular warm-ups. If you could look over to the side, half of White Oak was staring. That's all they did was watch us warm up. I'm like, oh, this game's over with. Is this a wrap? We're going to win this game by 20 points. Like, they were already afraid. Like, you can't coach fear. Like, if you're afraid to play the other team, just off of that, it's intimidating.
That's over. You can chalk that one up.
Yeah.
But if you come out and if you're not afraid to play the other, no, get me wrong now. Those they can play some teams.
I mean,
They can drop them.
though, like
Definitely.
my homie James Square. He just said up here in the comments, any team can be beat any given night, and that's true. And I'll say it like this, man: if you run across one of them dominant teams and they end up winning, then they did what they were supposed to do. Ain't nothing to be mad about. You played your best, move on. But I guess I'm just not understanding the people who rather not play.
Right.
That just kind of, I don't get that part. That kind of blows my mind like that. You got some players that just rather dodge this team or just rather not compete. Like, that's the whole point of this thing, is to compete,
I'll take them head on.
You never know. It could be you. It could be you that knock off that number one team. But you ain't gonna never know if you hide.
Right.
That's. I want to know what my team
funny.
is.
I say it like that. My homeboy. Did I lose y'all?
No, you here?
Oh, okay. My screen went black for a second. My homeboy earlier told me we played Fortnite the other day, and we were arguing because I saw somebody over in the corner there, and I said, "Let's go get him." He said, no. Let's hide. Let's sit back. You want to win, don't you? I said, yeah, I want to win, but I ain't finna win by hiding. It's
Right.
99 people in here. I want 99 kills. It's
Look
real
at Brett
simple.
McCollum
I'm
firing
coming to
shot.
do something.
Man, Brett's throwing
I came to
slugs
play.
at
You called me.
9:21 at
You
night.
told me to get on. You
Yeah.
want to hide? Like, no, that ain't how I play ball.
Yeah. Brett said AKA White House. Yeah.
Wow. I wasn't gonna say it, Brett.
No,
I
I'm
was gonna say
saying.
it. You
Brett,
gonna have them jump over here, Brett.
We all had an
Leave him
idea.
alone.
I feel like we all kind of knew.
come
what we
on.
were
I
talking
want
about.
someone. I want
don't
someone
need
White
nobody
House
from
alumni
White
to-
House jumping on my page.
Brett knows exactly who we're talking about. We want some of the White House alum to drop in. They know.
Facts.
I'll
Bring
just
'em
drop some
on. Bring 'em.
names. Drop some names.
Yeah.
No, White House could ball. Like those Chapel Hill White House games.
Oh yeah.
I think if ESPN could do like a documentary about how those games were, like, come on, that's like North Carolina
30
and
for 30.
Duke playing. Oh my god! And we hated each other on the court, and then it's like, all right, you know, it's all fun, and everybody said the exact same thing. Even if you were just, man, that was fun, like that, like that atmosphere.
That's what makes
That
it
atmosphere was
fun,
great.
man. Like,
It was great.
I don't get it.
It was
White House
great.
don't want to play Chapel Hill. A&M don't want to play Texas. Like, what? Come on,
Oh,
man.
2 years from now, they don't have a choice. They're gonna have
They
to
ain't
see
got
Texas.
no choice no more.
They kind of have to play.
Texas.
They going to suck that up.
But they should Chapel Hill and White House should play, and they should hype the game up and play it at TJC. One for the books, just hype it up again, and just play it. And that's what, man, that was, give me goosebumps because it was live. Then on top we had to plan for the Wagstaff title that year. We were done playing them in district. Then we had to plan for the Wagstaff championship. Oh, that was even better. Oh, that was great. And we beat them again. Oh, that was even better.
Looking through the two-way standings, I
Boy,
see
you about to gas them up.
representation.
Call me
They gonna
excellent.
be, hey, look. They gonna be on the schedule next year.
They got to be at some point.
They
You just
gonna
got to
be on
say
the
you got to
schedule
suck it up
next
and
year.
throw
They
on
gonna like,
schedule
I'm
one
tired
time.
of this. I'm tired of hearing that. You
And
tell
we
them
were
to
cool.
start to the figure
Just
too.
one game. Just
We
one
were
game.
at the game. Like, yeah, okay. I'll be there.
You tell him to be at the game too. He can suit up too.
The network will be there.
Big facts. Got to be.
Oh man. That's
Looking
amazing.
through these rankings here, while you guys chit chat away, I see a lot of East Texas teams are popping up as the season goes on. Just in 2A, almost 10 teams out of East Texas are ranked. You got Douglas at number 3. This is all out of 2A. Douglas at number 3 at 13-2. You have LaPointer, as we talked about earlier, 15-2 at number 6. Timpson, go Bears, 4-1, number 11. Martins Mill, of course, they're going to be ranked. Martin Mill is always going to be ranked, boys and girls. They're number 12 at 12-3. You also have Grapeland, just beat the previously aforementioned Tyler Heat handedly. They're sitting at number 18, 9-6.
After the
And
great
Frankston, they are number 20 at 10-3. Keep going through. One thing I've noticed that over the years, East Texas, shout out to James Square, White House running from us in the comments.
he know too. Square know. They running.
Everybody with common sense knows that after this
They
long,
running.
You know,
gotta be running. Gotta be
in the
running.
pocket, in the pocket.
But a lot of East Texas teams are getting better at basketball. You know, of course, there's going to be the teams of football, the West Russ, the Chapel Hills, that are going to be up there in the upper echelon of the 4A through 1A in football. But in basketball, I see a lot more East Texas teams. Now, I personally playing some of these teams, watching some of these teams, even now later on after I played, I kind of like to see that. Like to see more and more East Texas teams as playoff time comes around.
The smaller divisions are. That's what I like about basketball more than anything, because the smaller divisions that matter size. You can play basketball. You can play basketball. You know, the ball is there's no, this is different classification, different size. It don't matter.
Mm.
If you can
no
hoop,
running.
If you can hoop, you can hoop. You still got to set screens. You still got to play defense, and you still got to stop us. So what you gonna do? You know, and you definitely don't want to go to a smaller 2A town where they only play basketball. You're gonna be in the world full of trouble on a Friday night. Everyone's gonna be at the game.
Fact.
Everyone
The
at
entire
game,
town for to be on one side of the stands.
and the team is good. And now you
You
got to
only
go.
brought only 2 or 3 of your fans, maybe your mama, your daddy, and the person that drove the bus.
Hey, it's like, why are we struggling against this team? Because this team is good. That's
They
why.
do this. These
That's
little
why.
2A teams do this, man.
Central Heights used to be good. Hey, that's what they do. It's rough. It is rough.
Looking back at some of the old games, I feel like you now, Corey, going back reminiscing of my old playing days.
I got a lot of games in my head, man.
Boy, playing these little schools, I'll never forget. It was my sophomore year. We were in Harn Jefferson playing Aransas Pass. Never heard of Aransas Pass in my life.
You heard of them?
I was about maybe 6 foot at the time, a little bit shorter than I am now. They had a dude that might have been 3 inches shorter than me. Everybody on the team was the same height. First quarter, we got smacked in the mouth. The little teams like that can pretty much play with anybody on any given night. Going back to what James said earlier in the comments, anybody can beat anybody. And I feel like we're seeing that more and more, especially with these East Texas teams. Going in 3A, Tatum, ranked. Central Heights, ranked. Commerce, ranked. These little bitty teams that we pass by on the way to these big cities are whooping cats in basketball. And you see that more and more.
Out there hooping.
It's hooping. That's all it. I'm very shocked at Commerce. Commerce is traditionally a football school, but I'm very shocked at them for being a basketball school or being good at basketball.
This?
So
they're number 14. They're 7-10, but get this: their last game was against Paris, number 22 in 4A, 7-10, and still ranked 14th. The team has to be solid to have a losing record and still be on the knocking on the door of the top 10. So obviously they're pretty good.
Watch how they finish. They know. Watch how they finish. They may have a brutal schedule.
Take a look at their schedule real quick.
Paris has had Sulphur Springs and Paris has been pretty good the past decade. Paris has been really good at basketball. I'll give them that. They've had a lot of good basketball players come out of Paris for sure. Sulphur Springs the same way. A team of people that's traditionally good, Clarksville, they are really good at basketball. People don't give a lot of credit to them.
Fundamental team.
Good athletes in Clarksville. Good athletes in Clarksville. So
now, Commerce, you talked about them having a brutal schedule, and you weren't lying. They played Hallsville earlier this year, lost to Hallsville. They played Terrell. They played Roy City. Brett, shout out to Brett Laneville. Very solid team. Watched them play not too long ago. They're always good. They're always going to win their district or be right on the edge of winning their district. They're always going to be in the playoffs at a very high seed. Played them, I want to say about 2 or 3 years ago, either my freshman year or my sophomore year. Very athletic.
Yeah.
Small city. If you blink going 70 through Laneville, you're probably going to miss it. But they got some hoopers out there in Laneville, Texas.
They can hoop. If they got a gym, that's the fact. If they're small school, they got a gym. They can hoop.
100%. Commerce, believe it or not, beat Martins Mill by 14. Martins Mill ranked. They barely lost to Canton. As we all know, Canton has always been solid in basketball. 47-45, very close teams. James in the comments, the smaller teams that are fundamentally sound are always the hardest to beat on the court, and they do everything right. Few, if any, mistakes are made. 9 times out of 10, they're very well coached. Tatum, perfect example of that. Always have a very great coaching staff. Always have some tall guys that are going to rebound the ball, do the very little things, the minuscule things that college coaches like to see. Teams like that, that's how they can beat an Oak Cliff, how they can beat a Paris, how they can pretty much beat anybody on any given night.
Coach Carr is rough. That's all I'm going to say. Coach Carr is rough.
Very rough.
He's calmed down a lot since I've known him, but he's rough.
He was rough even when we played against him. He was yelling at his guys. I feel like I was doing something wrong. Like, my bad, coach. Good Lord.
They play a certain way. That's how he wants them. They play a certain way.
Now, do we want to get into some NFL talk? Because I got a bone to pick with some of these odds makers in the NFL. I got a real real bone to pick.
You know how your football. You know me. Your football. I don't know.
I'll save the Cowboy slander. I'll save the Cowboy
you
slander. Y'all been playing good football. I'll spare
I'm
y'all
not a
this
Cowboy
week.
fan. We're not Cowboy fans, so this is
Oh, y'all
great.
like Cowboy fans?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Absolutely not. Slander away.
He do the
Slander
whole
away.
TCU. You know, he hyped them
Hey,
up
listen,
every
You
year.
said NFL. It's different. You said NFL. We'll take
He said
NFL.
NFL.
We're not gonna talk about my TCU Frogs this week. I'm in a little bit. I'm in a bad state right now. The purple and black's not in a good way right now.
It'll be all right.
But the NFL.
I tried to warn you.
Brett, how about them Cowboys?
I tried
Not
to
gonna talk
warn you
about it.
this.
Nope.
What you want to
I'm
talk
not
about
talking
in
about
the
my home
NFL?
Frogs either.
How much want to
TCU
bet the Eagles
out of
beat them? How much want to bet the Eagles beat the Cowboys?
I ain't gonna call that. I'm not gonna.
Because Jalen Hurts is balling right now.
I'm not gonna put my name on that.
Eagles beat the Cowboys. I'm trying to tell you, it's gonna happen. That
not
Washington
gonna put my
almost beat
name on
Dallas. They almost beat Dallas late. I'm just saying.
I can just hear Brett typing away his response to you.
Oh, you know he's
to
got the
Corey
Kermit
saying
meme.
that
He
he's
got the
gonna beat
Kermit
him.
meme going. He is typing away.
I can hear his keyboard through here right now. Brett's
How
talking
about-
about some bold picks.
Oh, we can save that. We'll save that one. We'll wait till the
We'll take
playoffs.
that. That's gonna be fun.
Oh, okay.
But the
James,
NFL.
a Texas fan too. He said we'll be okay one day. That's right. One day we're gonna make it back. We coming back.
Got a
one
couple
day.
wins. Got a
We're
couple
gonna let
wins.
y'all have
We
it
give
for
them
right now. We scared everybody a couple of years ago. We had everybody nervous, because they thought we were gonna do it. And them Cowboys fans was losing their mind. They was like, they can't
you already
get there.
know.
They
You
was
already
losing
know.
their mind. It can't be them. Anybody but them.
We let a Simpsons character. Brett.
Come on, Brett. Come on now.
You were freaking out like everybody else was.
Like if the
They
Texans
up 21-0 on Kansas City. Everybody was scared. We finna put
Deshaun Watson's out of the
put the whole
slammer.
league on notice, bro.
Brett,
Oh man.
listen, I'm gonna make Jared laugh at this one. You know what, Jared? You weren't even born the last time the Cowboys played in the Super Bowl. That's how bad.
no.
You don't even know what it
nah.
looks like. You don't even know what it looks like watching the Dallas Cowboys and the national anthem and American flags. It's odd to you. It would look very odd
The stadium they
to
played
live through
in,
that travesty.
Yeah.
the stadium I played in just got destroyed when I was young. That's the last time the Cowboys were at the Super Bowl. They just blew up Texas Stadium. So
Those
that
some
should
good
tell.
games at Texas Stadium. Yeah. Very good
I
games.
feel like
at
there were
Texas.
better high school games at Texas Stadium than actual Cowboys games, but that's beside the
Don't get me wrong, the Cowboys were dominant in the 90s. They were really good. I take that, they were dominant in the 90s. I take nothing back from them. The fans just made it even worse because we heard about it all through the 2000s and now.
And you still hear about it to this day.
Ugh.
The Cowboys were good back when they didn't even have the scorebook on the screen. They just showed it every once in a while. That's terrible.
John Madden loved the Cowboys. He did. He loved the Cowboys.
And then, maybe it was just one time didn't they play the Bills one of them Super Bowls?
They played them twice.
Played them twice.
Yeah. See, the
And
Bills
lost
choked.
both
The
times.
Bills got there 4 years straight and
Bills
choked all 4 years.
Brett, they are
And they had
still
a
the
better
Cowboys.
team. Yeah, they're still the Cowboys.
Take that as you will.
That's also a problem too. They're still the Cowboys.
Texans titles. Uh-oh. He's fighting back.
Like James said, we're gonna be there one day. I tell you what, I'll say it like this. Y'all better get this one. Because if y'all don't get this one, we coming. We'll be back.
How many
And
how
you
many
don't want
rings
us to get it before y'all get another one.
we also
I
have
ain't gonna
5
never
rings?
stop.
The last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl, the Texans weren't even a team.
Right. They were still the
course,
Oilers. They were still the
Coulda,
Oilers.
shoulda, woulda.
Yeah.
Same can be said about your team. I'm not even gonna say who my team is. We're gonna leave this out of it.
Oh, no. Now we put the Cowboys to the ring. Who was your team? It better not be the Bengals.
No. We're not talking about my team, man.
Who's your team? I gotta know. Is it Ohio? Is it the Cleveland Browns? Is it really the Browns?
Oh, wow, bro.
Wow. I'm
How did you
sorry.
do that?
It can't. Is it really the Brown? Is it really the Brown?
Yeah.
What?
Man.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh!
Yeah, you down bad. You down bad.
You know what? It could be worse.
Listen,
It could be worse. You could be saying we still them boys.
I don't know, man.
yours was the Oilers just.
You know.
Oh man.
You know, it's okay to be a dog pound fan. There's nothing wrong with that. Cleveland, there's
no,
nothing wrong with that, man. There's nothing wrong.
No, listen.
y'all finna start moving backwards if you ain't noticed.
Let me air my grievances real quick. Let me get this out of the way. Now, the Browns have been terrible since the AFL was the predominant league. We've been bad pretty much as long as the NFL, pretty much since the merger. Every time we get just a glimpse of hope, anytime, whether it be with Colt McCoy, we thought he was going to be decent. Richardson drafting him out of Alabama.
I was hoping, but it didn't work out.
All the quarterbacks, the quarterback jersey, the memes, the countless memes.
Y'all had that one time when y'all had
the Derek Anderson.
What name? Y'all almost made the playoffs.
Don't say that name, Corey. We don't speak that name. Okay.
Derek Anderson wasn't bad. Derek Anderson, he wasn't bad.
We can even to Madden 12. We had a cover athlete, a fullback.
Y'all had
Peyton
big
Hillis.
dude. Big dude. What was his name? Peyton something?
Peyton Hillis.
Yeah, Peyton Hillis. Yeah.
Terrible.
He got out of there. He said, I can't do it.
Went to the Giants and ain't heard from him since.
They killing me with this.
We couldn't even have a Madden cover athlete. Going to now, beginning of the season, we played a picture-perfect game against Kansas City. Some of the best football I've seen the Browns play since Jesus was a pup. And then what happens? We choke it away.
Yeah.
Well,
Even now, 24 players on the COVID reserve list. We have an offense, a defense, a head coach, and a couple water boys out for COVID.
Well,
and we still couldn't
that
beat
ain't
the
y'all
Ravens.
fault alone, man. The league tried to act like COVID wasn't gonna hit everybody. They out there just playing football willy-nilly like COVID ain't winning.
it's too big to fail. They're not going. We've addressed this on That's So Dope. Shout out to JD. Vincent.
Yeah, shout out to Jay.
We talked about this. We said that Cleveland's roster is a playoff roster. We all agree with that.
We have
They
one
got
of the
good
best rosters on paper in the NFL.
Y'all got good players.
Y'all do.
Is
Yeah, I
Baker Mayfield the guy?
No.
But you could look at the offense and be like, man, what if it's the coordinator? You know, I mean, you should be able to put something
Kevin
together.
Stefanski is an offensive signal caller. It's just that Baker Mayfield is so inconsistent. He's so one-dimensional. He's not good deep ball. All he does is just this little dink and dunk bull crap. And if I wanted to watch that, I could watch the Steelers. And Brett, if you say that man's name one more again, I'm gonna cry.
Johnny
Okay?
Manziel, it's a wrap, baby.
No, stop.
It's a wrap.
Stop it, please.
James
Please,
Cowboys gonna choke.
Don't like it, okay? Please don't.
I'm gonna tell you who the Browns need to go after. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna put it out there in the Twitter sphere. Deshaun Watson.
I've been saying that. Listen,
Browns.
I've been saying that for the longest.
You
As
bring
long
that
as he
man.
can play,
It wouldn't be bad. It would not
as
be
long
bad.
as he can play. Now, when the police come knocking on his door in Cleveland, Ohio, and
I
they got to
know,
put him
you
in
gonna have
orange and not
everyone
Browns
going out
orange,
of town.
then we can slide Baker Mayfield back in. Heck, even start Case Keenum. We can start Case Keenum. He played that one game he played. He was better than Baker. Jimmy G, yeah, he's definitely
but you know
available.
what? I'll take Baker Mayfield right now. I'll take
Of who?
I'll take him in Houston. I mean, it ain't long term. It ain't long term, so I ain't tripping.
Hear me out. You give Baker Mayfield a 1-year deal, and you trade Baker Mayfield to Deshaun Watson. You take one of those running backs. You take Kadeem Hunt and Baker
Yeah,
Mayfield.
matter of fact,
No, let him have Duke
It's a
Johnson.
package deal.
Let him have Duke Johnson.
If I'm giving you Deshaun, you gonna have to give me Baker
You gonna give
and
me a
give
running
me
back.
Kareem.
You're not gonna keep both running backs.
You gotta give me
We
one
got to
of them
keep both
tailbacks.
of them.
Yeah, I'll take
No,
That's
that.
the only reason we even have a chance.
No,
That's the
the
only reason we're in the playoffs right now.
The
It's 'cause
Texans
of
got Listen,
You're right.
this
I'm
is
gonna
not
take anybody right now. You're
Listen,
right, Brett. I'm gonna take whoever I can.
exactly.
I ain't got nothing to lose. I'm at the bottom
What
of
do
the
you want?
barrel.
You got Deshaun Watson. You got Deshaun
They're all at
Watson
the
as your
bottom.
quarterback. Come on,
Jaguars
man.
are worse than y'all.
I'm
Those
telling
at
you,
the bottom,
watch. We already know what Deshaun Watson can do with a couple of C grade quarterback or wide receivers. The man almost beat. He had a magical year. He threw over 3,800 yards with C
I'm giving you
wide
a winning
receivers.
quarterback.
Come on,
Yeah. See,
Who?
when we was at the height of our thing, we had a dominant defense like y'all got a dominant defense. We had receivers like y'all had receivers. All you need is to plug in Deshaun, man. It's there. It's there.
Brett.
we're being
Yeah, we
positive.
know what
Brett.
he can
We're being
do.
positive. We know what he can do. It's not what he can do. Is what can be done. You know what? Let me not say that. What happened? Deshaun Watson? Yes,
Brett, you ain't right.
Deshaun
Right.
Watson.
Not.
That's,
He's out of
that's,
pocket.
the, that's the
He's out
COVID
of
talking.
pocket.
Don't listen to Brett. That's the COVID talking.
Yes,
Oh, he's out of pocket.
That's the medicine. That's the medicine.
That's
Yeah,
the
all right.
medicine talking.
That's the medicine.
Now we see him win a football game. Now, can he win a case? That's the question.
Well, you know,
That's the
hey,
question.
Listen, here's the thing. He ain't my problem no more. He ain't finna be my problem.
no, it's
So
not really.
I don't care what he can win. I don't
Yeah.
care.
He's a young man. I hope it. We've seen worse, and we've seen guys bounce back and play in the NFL. So I hope he bounces back. I hope he goes to a franchise that actually wants him. Like I said, Cleveland's desperate. Detroit's desperate. I don't want to say deserted and go, but I'm saying if I'm his agent, and of course we do the agent talk on That's So Dope. If you want to hear it, go back listen to us. We do the agent player talk, coach talk. If I'm an agent, listen, hey, Deshaun, hey, you want a resurgence here. You want to be a resurgent quarterback. The Dolphins are not getting rid of their guy. The Panthers maybe, yeah, but you want to go to Carolina. But a team that's what I'm saying, a team that's ready to win, and the division is wide open, and you could really be in the MVP category.
Cleveland built to win.
Go to Cleveland, or if you really want to be the guy, there's another team that's not too far away from Cleveland in the same division that could really use a quarterback. And I really think you'll like that head football coach. That's Pittsburgh. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, this Ben last year, ain't
it? It was Ben's last year, 3 years ago. You already know that.
Don't do that to him.
It's been
Don't do
Ben's
that.
last year
He's
since
been-
I was born.
He's been low.
Big Ben used to be good. And he ain't no.
Leave it
He's just
alone.
big now. He's just, that's it. He's just, I'm looking at Ben like
they winning games though. What do you want? What do you?
You're
what
playing
more do
Tennessee,
you
dude.
want from me?
You're playing Ryan Tannehill. Congratulations. He's just
You
a
know-
dollar store Joe Burrow.
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill got paid. Ryan Tannehill was paid, baby. And they could do anything better in Tennessee, and they paid Ryan Tannehill, but that team is not the same without their running back. So it's no matter what they do. Sorry, you can't run the ball, and especially when it gets cold out and it's about to get cold in the playoffs, you can't run the football. That's a wrap. What are you gonna do?
Sounds a lot like Cleveland, doesn't it?
Hey, I mean, I don't like to talk crap about Tennessee, but they one dimensional.
They are,
In many ways, they one dimensional. So
and I thought Mike Vrabel would have them. I picked them, in the Final Four. I thought they could really do some damage. I picked the Bills in the Final Four. Look what's wrong. They can't run the football. They gonna hurt Josh Allen.
No, I told you that at the beginning of the year, Bills can't run no football. I don't know why they got tailbacks.
Y'all really thought Devin Singletary was the answer? He's a solid power back. He's a third down running back.
They need to run the football in Buffalo.
They do not run the. Even when they do, they don't run the football well. Like they got two backs. They don't know which one's the starter. They don't. They just. Man, this reminds me of the Bengals. Like the Bengals was like this for the longest. Like you don't know who the starting tailback is. 1 week, homeboy over here mixing, doing this thing. The next week it was what was it? I can't remember that.
Giovanni Bernard.
Yeah, Bernard. It's like you just rolling the dice. Okay, and who want to put on a jersey today? Who want to run football? Like and that's the same thing. Like they just don't know what they're doing when it comes to running football. But you got a quarterback that's making plays. So
Joe Burrow is not bad at all. Joe Burrow is not bad at all. I like him a lot. He's throwing. He's making plays. but I don't know if they can. I think they're a year away from being, because one of those NFC North teams are going to take a step back. I don't want to say it's Pittsburgh because I really don't want to doubt Mike Tomlin. You can't just really doubt, because Mike Tomlin, he's going to get it together. Pittsburgh is going to be Pittsburgh.
Eventually.
They're going to get it together. I honestly think, this is me, I know people don't want to hear it, I think the Ravens are going to take a step back. They got some problems.
100% agree.
They're going to have to do
Well,
something.
here's the thing.
They're going to have to do something for whatchamacallit. They're going to have a better run game with the wide receiver.
The fact that they got this far. They lost 4 tailbacks before this season started.
Yeah.
You know? And now they got a couple of more injuries. They weren't expected to be where they at right now.
No.
But they put up a good fight. So, but yeah, they're gonna take a step back. They're not gonna finish the way they started, I feel. So it is what it is. I'm sure they already thinking like, well, we'll look forward to next year once we get our guys healthy. You know,
A lot of
they're
teams.
gonna try to get what they can out of this season, I'm sure. But because the backup, he kind of balling a little bit. I didn't expect for him to do what he did against Green Bay.
So yeah, all right. Point. Do you think they should have went for 2 or went for the extra point?
I'm
Right.
gonna tell you something, and this is just who I am as a person. Sometimes,
This ain't Madden. This ain't
depending on how
Madden.
the game is going, like, man, I'm not finna go tussle with you in overtime, bro. I'm not. I'm glad. I'm blessed that I got this far. I'm blessed that I got that touchdown because I had to throw everything at you. We finna get out of here. we finna get that too and get out of here.
Do you really want to give Aaron Rodgers the ball back?
I'm telling my offensive coordinator, call the play. I'm telling the training staff, pack everything up. Crank up the bus.
Time to go.
we finna
Gotta
score this 2-point conversion and we running into the locker room.
You gonna pull a Pat Riley? You gonna pull a Pat Riley in the finals?
We gone.
Hey,
We gonna hit this
you
win. We
would not.
gone, bro.
I'm only
Pack him
packing
up.
one suit. You Pat Riley, I'm only packing one suit. If you pack more than 2 suits, you're not getting on the plane. This is a business trip.
You know
One
what?
suit.
And back when the Longhorns played Kansas, and that game went back and forth, and then Texas finally scored at the end of that game. I was on the phone with the homie, and I told him, I said, we need to go for 2. He was like, man, you crazy. Just kick that field goal, go into overtime. I said, why would I go into overtime with a team I can't stop? Why?
Right.
Why would I do that? That's just the way I'm thinking. I'm like, man, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to tussle with them all night. And then they get lucky and stop me one time.
The very time
I'm
they get
gonna go
lucky.
for this too, and I'm gonna get out of here. And then look what happened. We're going to overtime. Look what they did when they scored. They went for 2 because they wouldn't lose. They playing with house money. They wasn't supposed to score 50-something points.
And
But they did.
you know who was in Lawrence. You know who was in Lawrence that day. You know who was in Lawrence that day?
Who? Oh,
Uncle Mo. Uncle Mo has
Mo.
and he wanted something to eat, and he's like, Lawrence is a good place for me to stay. Let me
I'm
give him
like,
something to eat.
stop
Hey, that's a
talking
game.
about
man.
the Lawrence
bro,
real
I was
quick.
so mad when Kansas went for 2 and got it. Oh man, I was so mad. I was, like I said, I was on the phone with the homeboy. He just hung up the phone. I said, see what I'm talking about, man? Like, you can't play scared. Like, I you know what? If I was a coach, honestly, I probably would have lost my job 10 times before somebody would have said, we love you. Let's just keep it here. Because I'm telling you, I'm not gonna lose being conservative. That's just not gonna happen.
You would have
I'm
pulled a
not that
Dennis
guy.
Green. You would have pulled it with the Dennis Green interview. They were who we thought they
And you know
were.
what? Yeah,
Let him off the hook.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Let him off the
I
hook.
couldn't even be in the interview. And they like, well, what were you thinking, coach? What you mean what I was thinking?
You
I'm
played
trying
to
to
win,
win, right?
They were like, "Hey, Coach Johnson, you think Texas is gonna make the playoffs? Playoffs?
Playoffs. We're
Going
talking
to
about
playoffs?
playoffs.
We can't even beat Kansas. We can't even beat
We're
Kansas."
talking about playoffs.
And you know what? Somebody just hit me up before I jumped on here and said that Longhorns going to a bowl game now because A&M got COVID.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
about to confirm that, but I had to
Double check
get
that.
on. I had to get on real quick.
I hadn't seen it, but is that true?
I'm double checking that
I'm
ASAP.
about to look it up
Give me
now.
that.
I hadn't heard anything about it. But then again, you don't deserve to go to a bowl game. You didn't win enough games, so why would you? Hey. But I mean, if they go, more power to them. I don't. I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, I kind of feel that. Like we didn't deserve to be there. So
You deserve to go. If you would have won 6 and still didn't get in, cool.
yeah,
Nope. No Texas. So
But, you know,
balance stays.
but then again, if they go and win, that's a good recruiting tool. That's another game you could play. We went to a bowl game, you know. But I'm pretty sure Texas A&M got all the bowl perks. They got all the bowl gifts that they give. They got good gifts, and it was
nothing about it, but
who would be quarterback? That's a good question because Casey Thompson left, and I don't know. They would start the other guy that his job got replaced with. So that's a good question. Now you got to call all the players back and say, "Hey, we got another game to play." You know, some
wait a minute.
already in Cancun or something.
yep, I know they probably like packing up for the holidays and everything. Like, wait.
They finna go home. They finna chill.
Right? They're trying to work on that
Somebody be
endorsement.
like, nah, I'm not doing that.
No, why would you? Why listen, like Coach? We said 1, 2, 3 Cancun, and we're out of here. You know, the season's over with. I'm out. I'm out, dude. But I'd call my endorsement people. Listen, I got one more game. You know, let's work out a deal. I do one more game, 10K. What you got me? You know, what can you
I
do
can
for me?
see that. I can see me being like, Coach, I'm already about to hop on this plane. We need you to come back. Nah, y'all can miss me with
I
that.
don't know about that one. My
Look,
mom,
We let this coach. Who are we
Mom's, I gotta
playing?
come back home.
Hey, go on and start Johnny. Y'all been wanting to start him all year. Go on and start Johnny. Let him have it.
Hey, it was like this, Coach. I'm out of shape. Mitch, it was just a week ago. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I done
I've
tried
been
to
eating, I've been eating, Coach.
like, listen, I've had a
You ain't had none of mama's potato salad.
right? Coach, I'm in there playing dominoes, man.
Yeah,
Playing dominoes,
I
man.
ain't gonna make it.
Hey, Coach, ain't gonna be there. It be the very time. Who is this? Hey, it's Coach. Who?
Who?
Coach.
Man, you done already deleted his contact. You done
he
blocked him on
deleted
everything.
he ready to leave anyway. Like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna play? Nah.
He'll be all
I'll
right.
think about it. Well, they giving away $5,000 if you want to go. Cash?
Cash.
Game?
Coach, I thought they was gonna tell you already, but I'm already in the process of transfer.
Right? Yeah, the
Full of
transfer.
oxtails. Coach, I can't make it. James in the comments.
He said he full of oxtails.
For a moment there. Hold
Oh,
on.
this
Let's
right here
talk about
says,
this real quick.
Rutgers
Can we talk about how
expected to
expensive
accept
oxtails
Danny
are
Ball
now?
bid after
Yeah, they are
10
expensive.
Withdraw per report.
Rutgers? Wait a
That ain't
minute.
bad. I think they should play. Rutgers didn't have a bad season.
Or maybe my information that my homeboy, when he called me, he was just speculating that Texas was gonna take the spot.
Rutgers had a winning season this year?
Rutgers wasn't bad. I think they won 6-6. They weren't bad.
Okay.
Yeah, Gator Ball, yeah.
Right with the sources. Here we go. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate
Because
that,
it's
Brett.
great that you
'Cause
accept
I'm
the Gator
sitting there
Ball.
on my phone looking.
We
Yeah.
got Brett Schefter over here in the comments.
Yeah, Brett Scheffler. And that's a
Yes, sir.
good one.
Rutgers went 5-7.
I like that, Brett Scheffler. I like that.
Wow.
I like that.
Rutgers went 5-7. Lost to Michigan State and Ohio State. Lost
Those
to
are good losses.
Northwestern. Got blanked by Penn State.
I mean, with
Okay.
Penn State,
That's interesting. So, Brett talked about these bowl picks. You would want to pick the New Year's Six bowls or just go straight playoff?
We'll go straight playoffs. That's a lot of bowls. We'll go straight playoffs.
First up, let's go and address the elephant in the room. Cincinnati, Alabama. The line is currently Alabama favored 13.5 points.
You know, I don't. You know, hey, I
Jay
don't
said
know.
we got. Jay said we got to get Brett his own breaking news music. This in breaking news, breaking report. Oh,
As
man.
much
James
as I hate
Bowles,
to say
Bama.
it, as much as I hate to say, it's probably going to be Alabama. But then
I want
again,
Tennessee to to win. I want
I
Cincy
laugh.
to win
Wait a
bad,
minute.
but I did pick Alabama in that pickle. So
It's Nick Saban. It's Nick
it's
Saban.
Nick Saban, man.
It's
And it's
Bama.
playoffs.
It's Bama.
So
It's the evil empire.
yeah.
It's the dark side.
Boy, but see, that's what I talk about when I talk about competing, man. Like if Cincy pull that off, we're gonna remember that for a minute.
Wait a minute. Cincinnati is not bad though.
They not.
Cincinnati is
not.
not
If Cincinnati wins this
It's
football
not
game,
even really about Cincinnati though. It's the fact that you know, Alabama is just who they are, and every time we throw somebody at them, they throw them right back at us. You know, a couple of years ago, a couple of times we threw Notre Dame at them. Notre Dame was looking good. Notre Dame was hot. We threw Notre Dame at them, man, and they smacked them around a little bit, sent them back with no pants.
Notre Dame ain't Notre Dame.
You're like, come on, man. Like, I hope Cincy could compete. I really wish they would win, but I got a feeling that
It's Bama. It's gonna be Bama.
Bama gonna do what they
Bama.
do.
Oh,
Oh,
Look
uh-oh.
I couldn't get it.
Dun-dun-dun.
The Pick'em King
supposed
couldn't
to be rested.
chance to get the picks in.
This guy.
He said he had to make an appearance. Like, no, I'm picking this one. I'm picking these. I'm picking this
Just
one.
had to come in and ruin the festivities. Here he goes.
Yeah,
Is it-
my heart says Cincinnati, but I can't pick. I'll be rooting for him, but I gotta pick out.
I'll be rooting for him, man.
Now. Is that the only one y'all picked, isn't it?
Thus far.
All right.
Now we're on Georgia, Michigan. Georgia favored 7.5 points.
Michigan playing good ball. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I've been rocking with Georgia for a long time now, and I've been waiting to see them get to this point. I was so upset when they didn't really they didn't top Bama, but hopefully if they pull this off, they get another shot at Bama.
I'm gonna tell you who I'm going for. It's easy.
Big Blue.
My second favorite school outside of Texas is Michigan, baby.
Big Blue. I like that, Corey. I'm
You know
glad.
what though? It's crazy. Like a lot of people grow up Michigan. I got a Michigan football jersey in the closet.
It's hell to the victor, baby. That's what it is. Go Big Blue.
But I listen. I've been waiting on Georgia, man. I have. I've been
You
waiting.
wait all day long if you want to.
You wait.
Georgia.
Yeah,
I've
shit.
been waiting on Georgia.
You've been
The
waiting for a
only
while.
time I didn't like Georgia
been
was
waiting
when
for
we
a
had to play
minute.
them a couple of years ago in that bowl game.
Georgia has no offense. I think that's the difference in this game.
Georgia,
Their offense.
they just physical. They physical, man. They physical this year.
So is Michigan.
They're always physical. Georgia's
Michigan
always been one of the most physical teams in the SEC.
Harbaugh gonna mess that up.
Harbaugh's got past his demons. He got to Ohio State, and now he's in the groove now.
Listen,
We'll
it's
see.
probably gonna be like 17-14 because Michigan's not gonna beat you. Like they're not gonna score 50 points. They're not gonna score.
They're never gonna score 50.
You know, it's gonna be a hardball game. It's gonna be like 17.
I want to pick Michigan, but Georgia.
It's Michigan. You know, it'd be funny to be Michigan and Cincinnati.
And that's true.
No one
Georgia
watched
want to
it.
get the Bama again. You're right. They do.
If it's Michigan and Cincinnati, that's going to be one of the lowest rated national championships of all time.
Not if you live in Ann Arbor.
I can't let that happen.
There's a lot of Michigan
I don't want
fans.
to see that. I either want to see Georgia and Bama go at it again. I watch Cincy and Georgia.
To see Michigan back in the national championship, back when Big Blue was Big Blue football is actually where. Oh my man, come on, that's college football royalty right there,
Rich
man.
did Roll Tide versus the Mays.
That's not. That's what I'm thinking too.
Hey,
Oh,
Corey,
Michigan.
Are you getting these down?
Yeah, I got them.
You got okay. You got Chris and James there as well.
I don't know, man.
I got to go
don't know.
Michigan.
My head
I
tells
gotta
me
go
one
Michigan.
thing, my heart telling me something else. So but I'm gonna stick with Georgia. I'm gonna have to.
I feel like Michigan is one of the only teams in college football that'll be able to match Georgia's physicality in the trenches on both sides of the ball. Michigan, Big Ten school, you know what they're about. They're going to be solid in the trenches
I
on
will
both
say
sides of the
this.
football.
I feel like this Georgia and Michigan game is gonna be the best game out of this playoff.
Oh yeah, of course, without a shadow of doubt.
No, man, I'm just just being honest. As much as I want Cincy to win, I feel like Bama's gonna come out there and go nuts. Whoever they play, if it ain't Georgia, they probably gonna go. They probably gonna go. I mean, to be honest with you, look at how they did Georgia. Man, I hate Bama. God, they're too good.
You sound like JD.
Thinking about them.
Listen.
Hey,
Like, I
guess,
feel like if I was a coach, I'd be in there. They be waiting on me to say something to inspire them. I'd be like, I hate Bama.
they're gonna be on it. They're gonna be on Texas.
They're
They're gonna be on Texas' schedule for the next however many years. So
Right.
they're getting
Yeah,
used
they
to
are.
playing them.
You know what? You know what? It's like this. You know that meme I sent you, Vince. Like, first of all, forget Bama. That's how I start off every conversation. Like, my name is Vince. First of all, forget Bama.
Yeah.
Try to go to a job interview with that intro. See how that turns out for you.
Yeah, you know what? If you're anywhere else other than Alabama, you'll probably be okay.
It might, yeah, might.
Anywhere outside of Tuscaloosa, you probably be all right. It could work. You can't say that LSU.
What is that?
Was that? I don't know.
Bunrent?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's yeah, I don't know.
It's spam.
Whose
Don't
man
do it.
is this?
Jared, what did you pick? You pick Michigan or you pick
Yeah.
Georgia?
Give me Michigan. Shout out to
Shout out
Coach
to
Chuck Taylor, head coach at Coastal Alabama. I'm taking Big Blue.
Vince, you pick Michigan or Georgia?
I'm going Georgia, man. Don't do me like that.
We got 2 G's and a whole bunch of M's. It's okay. I'm picking. I'm picking Michigan for the national championship. You know, I got to go off the wire.
For the Natty?
Yeah.
For the whole shebang? Beating Bama?
And they no whack Ohio State this year with their mythical national championship. Forget all that. Don't do all that. You got to play somebody to win. You're gonna win it, then it's gonna be Michigan. Michigan versus Alabama. That's what it is.
I'm going to say Georgia to take it out.
I don't think they have it in them.
If Georgia get to the final dance and lose to Bama again, boy, that just be devastating.
I don't think they have it in them. It didn't take Clemson it took Clemson one time
Lose to
after
them
that
twice
first
in
loss.
3 weeks, 4 weeks. No, not really. They game ain't been played Mark. What am I saying? Yeah.
Here's what's going to be playing at the end of the game, guys. Dun, 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 dun.
You know what? I root for anybody. Somebody beat Bama, please.
I'm going Michigan. I'm going Michigan.
I'm telling you, that's what it is, Michigan. And I'm singing the fight song too. I have a very good fight song. I like the fight song. They're gonna be hosting the trophy up at the big house with all snow. They'll be at the Chrysler Center, and maybe Chris Webb will come out.
Yeah, I don't think so.
if he's welcome back into the
Is he allowed? Is he allowed to be out there on campus?
Is he still banned?
I don't know if he is or not. I think he
He's
showed
gotta
up.
be.
I think he showed up when Juwan Howard was when he was announced as a the basketball coach. So
Surely they've kind of let bygones be bygones by now. And surely.
I don't know. I still would forgive him.
Well, you think about
Chris
you
Webb-
you think about now, though, with all the students getting paid, you look back at some of those guys now that took money and stuff.
Mm.
I mean, I know it wasn't legal then, but now they're letting them do it. So, do y'all think that lessens how you feel about it previously, or does it matter?
I've always
I don't
thought they
think it
should have got
matters,
paid, but I wish they would have. NCAA messed themselves up with that. They messed themselves up with that. They should have, if they would have allowed a certain amount of money, this wouldn't have been a problem. And now you just let the floodgates open, and it's a wrap after that.
Yeah.
Texas buying their offensive line. Y'all see that? I like it.
Yep. Unless you're the
Just
number
to
one
lose-
offensive
just to lose
lineman,
to Iowa State.
if I was the number one offensive lineman, I'd be up for. Listen, what can you offer me besides scholarship? What can you offer me? So hey,
Oh, got a little bit of betting
Yeah,
going on. Coach Riley, superstar appearance. Nobody's beating Bam and Nick Saban, and James right after. Give me Georgia for 2 double cheeseburgers and a 10-piece nugget.
we're going for some food.
What y'all talking about, man?
you
Oh man,
you got Square in here. You know he acted.
Yeah, Square. You know it's gonna be some entertainment.
Well,
It's
you
gonna
got
cloud if Square in here. Listen, I ain't hollering at my boy in a minute.
well, you know,
Square, what
Square,
kind of sauce? What kind of
Square-
sauce you getting with the nuggets? You a barbecue guy? You a sweet and sour?
well, you got Square's daughter plays for Coach Riley, so that's probably
Right.
where they probably have an
Oh,
inside
yeah.
joke there we don't know about.
You know what? Shout out to the girls, by the way. 3-0 in district. Shout out to
Yeah.
Coach Riley
Yeah.
for that. Yeah, they on the
They're gonna be
Yeah.
in
road.
that Aggieland tournament, I think, coming up soon.
He's got them
Mhm.
rolling.
They
They got,
do.
they got that big win over White House. That's the one I was talking about earlier. That's probably my favorite game of the year so far.
Anytime we beat White House is a good day.
Oh man, it was the atmosphere in there was insane just for a
It was.
non-district game
On a Tuesday.
on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
A Tuesday.
I missed you guys yesterday.
Oh man. Shout out to Brett for doing
Yeah,
that. Was
Brett kind of held it
holding
down
it
on his
down.
own. You know, I'll be working till dang near 8
Knocking
o'clock
down
this
the
time
fort.
of year. So
Well, at that point, I was feeling fine. You know, it didn't hit me till later that evening. So I was feeling. I went out, hung a few lights outside, and did a bunch of things yesterday. And then all of a sudden, it just boom hit me.
it was the lights. That's what it
so
was.
that's why I went ahead and went. I spent from about 11 o'clock to I got released about 8:15 this morning.
Mm.
So I didn't sleep much. I came home and slept a little bit today, but I didn't have much energy. That's why I decided I didn't want to do it. But I figured I'd pop on here for a few minutes, and
He
I couldn't
If
stand it anymore. Y'all are having too much fun on my
you
chat.
know what happened? You know what happened? We started doing picks, and the pick'em champ was like, "Yeah, hand me my robe. I'm the pick'em."
Yeah,
Wait
did
a
y'all-
minute.
Where's my friend?
Y'all did, y'all
Hey,
did,
man,
y'all did talk about that I won the championships, right?
We glossed over it. It was, it wasn't really
okay.
important.
I didn't care.
Just in case y'all didn't get beat enough already all year.
This guy.
I don't know. He's gloating about it. The pickle champ. I can't wait for the Cowboys to lose in the first round. Oh, I can't wait.
Ooh.
I can't wait for the 49ers to actually make the playoffs. Oh wait, that
in the
fast.
playoffs.
I'm declaring victory in that bracket.
I'm telling you right now.
In football bracket.
If the Cowboys and the 49ers play in the first round,
Cowboys will be playing the first round. They're gonna have a bye, Corey.
they're gonna buy a ticket. That's what they
Right.
We got the schedule we have left is looks like fairly easy. I was actually, and this is a bummer. I was actually had one of my Christmas presents was a ticket to the game Sunday. Now I'm not going to get to go.
Wow.
So I'm kind of bummed about that. So
I'd be scared if I was a Cowboys fan. You almost lost to a team that don't even have a name.
The Redskins ain't bad. They just don't have a quarterback.
But see, I will give them some credit because the Redskins ain't as bad as people think they are. They actually really
bad
good this season, and the quarterback is keeping them in games. So I'll be afraid of them in a couple of years.
Exactly.
What's dangerous right now is the Cowboys' defense is what's dangerous right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that really, in all honesty, the defense is what's winning games right now.
Chris said Cowboys going home
Round one.
Fight.
Chris is also an Oklahoma fan. We don't take that to consideration much.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Anything that isn't burnt orange is fine with me.
if he's not a Cowboy fan and he's an Oklahoma fan, we got common ground. Sometimes sometimes if you are a friend, what is it? If your enemy is a friend of yours or whatever that quote is, and you're a
The
friend.
enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, that's what it is. Didn't Genghis Khan say that or something?
You can't find more of an enemy than OU.
Brown, I don't know.
Or OU is about
You can't say Redskins, you're gonna get banned. Yeah, man, you're gonna get us canceled out here.
they
Man, I
gonna
forgot
cut us
about
off.
that.
You said Redskins.
I apologize. I apologize.
We're gonna get
They
canceled.
shut all
Bro.
this
Come
down.
on now.
I apologize. The Washington football team.
Be politically correct.
I am sorry. The
They
Washington.
only were called that for like.
God, did y'all see this? Cowboys winning Super
Hey,
Bowl.
now that's my kind.
Yeah, good
Now
night.
Oh,
Good
Lord.
night.
That's my kind of.
in the Super Bowl.
There we
This-
go. It's always one. It's
This ain't-
always
This is not the Tecmo Bowl. This doesn't happen that way. This ain't Madden
Even in
95.
Super Bowl, they couldn't even win, man. Stop.
Come on. If the Cowboys make the Super Bowl, oh my God, I never hear the end of it. Oh.
I know, man. I may not go to work the next day. I'd just be like, nah, I'm calling in.
I'm just going to
I might
deactivate
go file for
social
unemployment or
media.
something.
We're gonna have a special show for that. We'll have a Bulldog Sports Network exclusive.
I'll make sure that I'm as far away as possible.
You know what? I'm not even going to be on the show. I'm going to be in the
I
comments.
can't make this show. Brett gonna have that by himself.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna sit here and listen to the Cowboys.
Well, this is Brett to pick them up.
Hey, I'll get TJ will come on, I'm sure.
Talk about the
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Cowboys fans.
Y'all have a Cowboy party.
New head girls coach at Chapel Hill. The head coach that lost his mind.
Wow. They're shots fired from across the bay.
These ain't even shots. These are missiles.
Oh, he just threw one
Browns
at
don't
you.
even speak. Hey, man. We on the up and up, man. I can't even be mad.
Up and
Yeah,
up.
we're not that good right now. Better than what we were. So I can't
Y'all have been on the up and up for 50 years. Oh, wait.
Not the same time it's been since y'all been in the Super Bowl last night. Don't do
This
that.
team was so bad that they moved towns. They moved Baltimore.
Because I'm laughing at them over here on these comments, boy.
This
It's
is
wild.
The comments have won this episode. Hands down, the comments have won this episode.
We got side bits.
Yeah, everybody watching. They watching for the comments today.
We got cheeseburgers on the line. We got people calling for jobs.
Jared, you didn't hear me. Your Browns are so terrible they moved towns and went to Baltimore.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your comment was about as irrelevant as your team.
Man.
They went to Baltimore and then they started winning.
Hey, man.
Well, maybe if the Cowboys go to San Antonio, they start winning.
They're 10-4. How many more games you want them to win?
No, they got to win the championship again.
They got to win a chip, man.
They hadn't gotten back to the conference finals in how long?
Well,
Jason,
we finally got a coach. We finally got a coach, though. You have to admit, we hadn't had a coach for a while.
Oh, it's a coach. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So y'all think that Jason Garrett was the guy?
He definitely wasn't the guy. He wasn't the reason either.
Yeah. Well,
I don't.
I don't know. That's hard to say. That team wasn't built like this team is built. So
not at all.
Y'all back then y'all had people that was letting y'all down on the field. So
Romo, Des Bryant.
You know what? I take that. Tony Romo was not bad. I take him in the 49er uniform any day. Tony Romo was not bad.
He could stay healthy at the end.
He could not stay healthy. Tony Romo was not bad. The problem with Tony Romo was Jerry Jones was hyping him up, and he buckled under pressure.
Des Bryant he got screwed on that one call.
That was not a catch.
It is now.
It is now.
They changed the rule.
It was a catch a week ago when it wasn't a catch about a month ago. The definition of a catch changes every week.
Fan, so I'm gonna tell you that wasn't a catch.
You gotta come out.
I don't know.
Are you an Aaron Rodgers fan?
Who's not an Aaron Rodgers fan?
I'm not an Aaron Rodgers
fan. That guy is a jerk.
He is.
Listen, I tell people all the time, man, like, I love Green Bay, but I do not like Aaron Rodgers.
Do y'all know he does not associate with his family, his own family. He's not associated.
You know what? That sucks for him. But I will say this. That man can put the football anywhere you want to in your hand if you stretch it out. That's all I know. Yeah. And he is pretty good at that. I mean, he is really good at that. He's a fantastic quarterback. Probably the best passer in the league, hands down.
You can argue the GOAT, to be honest with you.
You got Tom Brady.
Oh, come on now. Tom Brady.
You can make the case.
No.
Tom
Brady is like up here, guys, and like everyone else is like way below.
Championships.
Everybody got different
just in championships.
Right?
Just in championships.
Longevity. That guy's been playing for 20 years at a top level. How many guys can do that?
If I have a brick wall every year in my career for an offensive line, I can play till I'm 75 years old too.
Well, I mean, he moved to Tampa Bay, and all of a sudden he won again. So,
and he still had a fantastic offensive line. People forget that Tampa Bay was a 500 team. They were still a playoff team. Come on now.
Somebody said Tom is
Tom legally died in '92. He's just been drinking that juice this whole time. That's what's keeping him alive.
Somebody said Tom is a Palpatine.
Oh my goodness.
So he gotta be one of them guys. He gotta have some dark forces or something. It ain't all. It ain't all that.
But I,
You know,
what I tell people, man, is that everybody got these different abilities. Aaron Rodgers, like I used to joke around and be like, Aaron Rodgers sold his soul because I don't know how he throws that ball up there and somehow always lands in the receiver's hands. Like he can put it wherever you need it.
Pretty
You
much.
got Tom. Tom got the ability. He ain't the fastest. He ain't the most accurate. He just got this ability to not mess up, especially when you need it. When you need it, when you need him the most. You know, he just always makes the best decision, and that's great for a football player. You know, he ain't got to take no chances and nothing like that. He gonna just make the best possible play. You got people like Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes got a cannon. He can throw the ball 70 yards, flat-footed, not even moving. He just flicking the wrist up there. So everybody got their different abilities that make them special. If I had to crown one, it's hard not to crown Brady because he in his 40s. But I could see somebody saying Aaron Rodgers was the best quarterback, the best passer.
And you know what's funny? I'm gonna say this. You know what's funny? I know we downplayed Deshaun Watson about his personal stuff. He is a very, very, very good quarterback.
He's a
He's
playmaker, man, and that's what makes him so deadly. He's a
And
playmaker.
and can you imagine him going? And somebody said this. We discussed this on the podcast. Somebody said, "Can you imagine him and with the Kansas City Chiefs been as successful if they would have drafted Deshaun Watson over Patrick Mahomes?" And I
I'd
say
argue even more successful, to be honest with you.
I like
More
Patrick Mahomes.
successful if Kansas City drafted
I-
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I think
That's
they
what
would
I'm
have been about the same. I would have been about the same. I think they would have been
I
about
think
the
that-
same.
Deshaun he's a better arm talent than Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes might have a stronger arm, but Deshaun is a lot more accurate. He's a lot smarter with his passes. As we've seen, Patrick Mahomes has made some of the most dumbfounding throws I've seen from a
Just a
quarterback in a
gunslinger.
while.
He's just a gunslinger. He throw the pill everywhere. There's nothing wrong with that. He likes to take chances. If he's going to make it further in the NFL, he's going to have to take less chances and just throw the football. And
He needs to watch Mac Jones or even the Jared Goff or Carson Wentz even. Those are guys, they're not going to just go for the home run ball every single play, but they're going to make very minimal mistakes. They're not the best quarterbacks in the world, but they can win you a game. They can win you a game or two, but they're not going to throw a pick on 1st and 10. You're marching down the field trying to make a game-winning drive and throws an interception inside the 20. They're not going to make that big of a mistake.
yeah, Matt Jones is blessed because he's in that program and that system where it makes him look pretty good. He doesn't have to do much, so he's okay. But
Yeah,
I'd like to see Josh McDaniels get out of there and see what happens.
I've about hit my limit. I got to go take my inhaler, but y'all have a good rest of the show, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
Oh yeah,
All right, man. Get well.
yes, get well.
Please do.
There was like, you got the Cowboy fan. It's like, Cowboy, ugh.
Something about him. Just something about him.
I know what it's about. There's a lot of L's. That's what it's about. they packing L's. That's what it is.
All that pain.
But I mean, honestly though, they got a very good fan base. They, I give them as much hell as I can. I got a lot of family, and family's always Cowboy fans, and can't say nothing about Cowboy fans, and yeah, you live in Texas. I don't care. Doesn't matter. I don't have to like them. Now if you can't say nothing about my Mavericks, it's something totally different. I'm not a Maverick. You don't have to be a Maverick fan. It's okay. Just don't say nothing about them. Good.
Right.
Good. We don't.
I don't care what you say about Jalen Brunson.
No, hey,
This man is the truth.
I am as critical about the Dallas Mavericks as I am any other sports team, and I'll go to bat. I'm very brutally honest too. It's just saying that. So
Okay, James. Wait a minute. Wait a
kick him
minute.
out of chat. You did enough. You said enough.
This man
You
said
talk about the
Mavericks
Mavs now.
terrible.
How can I exit him out of chat?
Okay. Okay. Now we taking a little bit too far with this one. Now
That sounded personal.
that sounded from the heart right there.
Yeah, Mavs is
Even
trash.
holding that one in.
Wait a minute. Yeah, that one cocked and loaded.
Yeah,
Waiting
that copied and pasted somewhere.
Yeah. Mavs
But
was
the
trash.
Mavericks, we're in a weird spot. Yeah, we
Well-
have Luka. Yeah, we have a solid core. You have Dodo, he's playing well. Moses Brown has came out to be a fantastic player for us. Jalen Brunson, he's playing his tail off. But James, come on now. I've been kicked out of a lot better place than this. Come on.
That was a Rick James comment. That was Rick James.
Good.
That was a Rick James comment right there. I know what they came from. And if oh man, that came from the heart too.
You took this personal.
I knew he was laughing. I knew he was laughing. I knew he was laughing.
Oh man. Oh man.
I knew he was laughing at that one. Yeah.
It did.
I knew he was laughing at that one. Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. We're gonna be back. I had no doubt about some Mavericks. I have no doubt about the Mavericks. We'll be back for sure.
But Dallas, I kind of like where we're at. We might be one tweak away. We're knocking on the door of one of the best teams in the conference, let alone the league. We are one piece away. At first, I wanted to trade Porzingis. I'll be honest. I was one of the most adamant supporters of sending Porzingis as far away from Dallas, Texas as humanly possible. But now that Jason Kidd, he's finding a way to mesh that team together, using and utilizing all his players the way that Carlisle couldn't. Carlisle's a great coach, don't get me wrong. But Kidd's just doing things with that team, and maybe it's just a roster. But we are one piece away, one addition. I don't want to subtract anybody from the team. I like what we have now. But we have the cap space going into the next couple of years to where we could really make just one solid splash and we'll be fine.
I told one of my buddies at work, I think I told my brother too, and I said, if we're going to be a good team, I said, we're going to have to trade away some fan favorites for them to actually build the team that they want to. And I said, just get prepared for it. Like, don't get attached to some guys. If it takes Jalen Brunson to get a Jaylen Brown out of Boston, I'll do it. If it takes sending Tim Hardaway Jr. somewhere away, hey, I'm at this point in time, we got to be competitive. You couldn't trade away Kristaps Porzingis because he was a Denny Can. He's been injured. He hadn't played enough basketball games, good basketball games, valued basketball games for him to be traded away to a good team. I wouldn't want him on my team. He hadn't played enough. And does he look good in certain uniforms, certain systems? It remains to be seen. But offensively, Dallas could play with anybody, but defensively, we couldn't stop anybody. And so it was just a bad matchup. And so in the NBA, man, you got to be able to stop somebody. At least, you're not going to stop a lot of people, but you got to have good possessions. And they couldn't stop anybody. Look at the playoffs last year. All we had to do was, eliminate some shots or contest, be a harder defender on, Kawhi Leonard. And yeah, man, we could have won the series. Wouldn't have been a problem. We had good momentum. We had anybody to stop Kawhi Leonard, at least slow him down. Now I know that's a tall task. He's a world player and an MVP worthy, player. But I mean, come on, you can't. One guy shouldn't be able to dominate your team like the entire team. And so, it's at the end of the day, man, you take it with a grain of salt. You move forward. You say, how can you build your team? We got to go in the offseason, got to be aggressive. But I like what they're doing. They're not wasting time trying to trade people and you got expiring contracts. We got to wait till you find a team that's willing to blow up their team, and it's a fire sale. Indiana's got a fire sale going. Sacramento's open. I think New York is probably going to be more open this year.
Boston's open.
If it's not working in Boston, I think Boston may be a good place, but we'll see. I think Toronto may be open too. But I honestly really think that it's more open than people think. But everybody's having a hard time, especially with COVID. And we'll see after right around the All-Star break, we'll know more about the landscape of what teams do. Because if it looks like guys or teams that aren't making the playoffs, and they should be, they'll get desperate. Hey, they start shipping players away. But it's one of those situations where the Mavericks has got to be patient. And, I haven't watched the game. I've been upset. I've been not watching the game because I'm diehard Mavs fan. I'm just not gonna watch them lose. I just can't do that. You playing like trash. I'm not gonna watch you play. I don't need that in my life. I don't need no negativity. Sorry, but after a while, if you want, once we start getting better players, we need to be more athletic. We need to have guys that play multiple positions. We pass up on draft picks that they should have had. They could have had Desmond Bain. They could have had Sadiq Bey. And, both of those guys are all rookie teams last year, rookie first and second team. You pass them both those guys for Jalen Green. And, don't get me started on that. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on that.
Josh Green, me and my homeboy, Matthew Ramones, I don't know if he's watching that, but shout out to him if you're watching. We were watching draft night together. We almost collectively threw our phones to the next area code when the Dallas Mavericks drafted Josh Green. Why? I still don't understand what he's done. His career high, I think so far, is like 13 points. He has done nothing. Now, with our young guys, Jalen Brunson and Dodo are in contract years. What do we do with them? What do you think we should do with them?
I don't never want to trade away a defender. I'm defender oriented, so I don't like to trade away Swiss Army knives. I like you 6'8", 6'7", 6'8" that can defend, play multiple positions. If Jalen Brunson is going to bring us multiple players back in a package, I know people don't want to hear it, but I do it. I mean, you don't want to get rid of a shooter. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a shooter. He's not a playmaker. He's a shooter. Stop, letting him make plays on the basketball. It's not what he does. I would love to keep Jalen Brunson, but at the same time, if Jalen Brunson is going to bring us a Jalen Green and a center, let's do it. If we package away Jalen Brunson and somebody else, and we could actually, bring in a defensive-minded center and a rebounder, a double-double guy, bring it. I think Dallas will improve that way, but we're gonna have to get rid of a fan favorite if we want to do that. Maxi Kleber, I'm a big fan of Maxi Kleber because he plays defense and he rebounds and he's not a bad shot. You don't want to get rid of guys like that. Jalen Brunson is hot right now. A lot of teams could use a point guard. If it's going to take us getting rid of a guy like that to get us, if he goes to New York, and we can bring back, a 2-guard or 3-guard. If we can bring in Jericho Sims out of Texas, 6'10", guys. Let's get us some more athleticism. We need guys that can play multiple positions and defend and rebound and run the court. If we can bring back that, I don't mind it. People, oh, you crazy? Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're gonna need guys that can play multiple positions. And I don't mind. We got to be more defensive minded because we can't stop anybody right now. That's all I'm saying. And get rid of Dwight Powell because don't get me started on Dwight.
Why is he here? Everybody in this call right now is a better free throw shooter than Dwight Powell. I can say that with confidence. Now, I was looking through when the Pacers announced that pretty much everybody's open, everybody's available. What if we traded Dwight Powell, Jalen Brunson, and a first rounder for Miles Turner?
I want something else in return too.
Now, let me go through the roster real quick. Miles Turner becoming more of a 3-and-D guy. Last year was a borderline average 3-point shooter, but for a big of his size, his stature, and his athleticism, we'll take it. We'll definitely take it.
If I'm giving you Jalen Brunson, I want a guard. Give me him and a guard. I want one of those guards on that team.
Now, would you want, say, a Karis LeVert maybe, or even a Jeremy Lamb. He can play the 2 spot.
Give me Karis LeVert. Give me Karis LeVert and him, and you can take anybody else you want out of the Mavericks team. You can take any. Matter of fact, you can take Maxi Kleber if you want to. Give me Karis LeVert.
I'd be fine with giving up Maxi Kleber as long as we're getting Max Turner. Because honestly speaking, Turner is just a 7-foot Maxi, in my opinion. So I'd be fine with that. Now, what about Domantas Sabonis?
It's not my style. I'm not big on that style.
Domantas is solid. I can see what you're saying.
I have a certain style in my head that I like to play, and a certain style of team that I like, and that's me. But it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit my style. It doesn't fit what the Mavs would do. Doesn't fit how I think they would want to play. And I think Jason Kidd wants to play free and open and run and gun and block shots. And we don't need Domantas Sabonis. He's not a good defender, and we need somebody to defend at best. So that's what we need most importantly. So.
Great show tonight from Brett. Thank you, Brett. Get well soon, please. Recover. Absolutely.
Fellas, I do have to go. This has been a good show. It has been a good run. I can't hear Vince. What is Vince saying?
Yeah, Vince gone. We lost Vince.
Yeah, Vince, what are you saying? We can't hear Vince at all. We can't hear you.
No.
What about now?
Yeah, there we go.
I don't know. My mic was tripping a minute ago. My mic and my camera is the same thing. I had to unplug it and then plug it back in, so I guess it didn't bring the audio back in. But y'all talking Mavs basketball anyway. I ain't no Mavs fan.
Hey, chill out. Hold on. Hey, be cautious. Be cautious.
Tread lightly.
You know, and then on top of that, I'm a Phoenix fan too. So I mean, I know y'all really ain't trying to hear me. I just let y'all do the talking.
Anyway, it must be getting late in the evening. He talking that nonsense. Next thing you know, he's gonna say Steve Nash was right.
He said I'm over here asleep. I'm about to go to sleep. I worked 12 hours today. I'm tired.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
I gotta go at it tomorrow.
Get out of here.
All right, man. It was great, man. Great talking to y'all tonight. Shout out to James. I appreciate you, bro, coming through.
Shout out to everybody.
Everybody who came through. There was a couple of people on YouTube also that I noticed.
I know where it is. I know where to find us. Yeah.
Bulldog Sports Network. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook. All Bulldog Athletics. It's basketball season. Stay in the know. The number one place to watch and read about games as well. Recaps on multiple games on the Antler Sports Network. So if you can't watch it, you can at least read about it.
Absolutely.
Be sure to tune in frequently. We got a lot of things coming up soon.
Absolutely. New episode that's on too. Stop playing with your
boy. I ain't no bandwagon. I ain't gonna get into that with you. We trying to say bye to the people.
Uh-oh. Brett done exposed you.
Get out of here. You know I've been.
Brett done exposed them.
He's just mad because y'all took that one. I'm not gonna do this.
Just kick him out. Kick him out.
I'm not gonna argue with y'all. It is what it is.
I gotta go. You talking real loose and foolish right now. You talking real loose and foolish right now.
Talking reckless.
You took your L. Go home.
Next thing you know, he's gonna say LeBron James ain't that great. I gotta go. Don't do it. Don't do it.
We gotta end it on that one. We gotta end it.
King now. Read the news. Read the paper. Steph Curry on top of it all.
Thank y'all for watching the Bulldog Sports Network Weekly Wrap-Up Show, State Championship Edition for Jared, Corey, Vincent, presented by Jonah's Insurance. Thank y'all for watching.
Yeah.
Have a good one. Go Bulldogs.
Peace.